they'll go nuts,
Yeah.
like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love those people.
they're good people,
Yeah.
and usually they're very good people.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they aren't the dude, bro, I'm gonna rape you. You know
No,
what I mean?
no,
Like
no,
they're
no.
not, or they, I don't think they say it, but
I don't think
but you know what I mean? Like they're not the broy type.
Right.
They're like sweet dudes that are just dumb.
Right.
They're like sweet dumb dudes that don't know, truly probably don't actually know that if they are offending anyone, that they are offending them.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at Bert Kreischer. It's just there's one day we were just sitting there watching. I'm like, I don't know if I really like watching this.
Right. No. Like, the content can be like, because it's almost like I feel like with those guys putting out so much shit, it starts to become masturbatory.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
yeah, like you were saying, like we got enough of this.
Yeah.
How many more takes can we get?
Or like spread it out.
Yeah.
Like make it desirable. Like if you're like make it like.
No, you got it. It's a
well, actually, and no, like I get like where they're going for. They're in demand, so they're just trying to put out what they can put out.
Supply and demand. Yeah, they have an audience, and also you're catering to. So like me and Dom will watch Your Mom's House,
right?
But we won't necessarily watch like Two Bears, One Cave.
Yeah.
She loves Where My Mom's At.
Yeah,
like there's certain things like I think what they're just doing is saying, oh man, anybody that ever says, man, I love watching Two Bears, One Cave, but I really prefer Bert.
Sure.
So, okay, you just go listen to his podcast or the things that he does.
Right.
If you like more of Tom's side, you can listen to, he has personalized stuff or stuff with his wife.
Right.
Dom loves watching married couple people stuff and raising babies.
Sure.
She follows so many parents that she doesn't know. I've jokingly called her a pedophile, but now it's just fun.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like now I'm just doing it because she doesn't think it's as funny anymore. But she loves children so much that she follows strangers' children. Tell me that's not creepy, right?
I mean,
out of context.
Out of context, creepy. But also at the same time, like I get hung up on the like my favorite YouTube content is called Funhouse.
What is that about?
It's like you're familiar with like Achievement Hunter and like Rooster Teeth.
Rooster Teeth sounds familiar.
Okay, so it's like Rooster Teeth is like the channel like overseer, like it's like the big umbrella.
Okay.
But it started with Achievement Hunter, and all Achievement Hunter was just like essentially streaming before streaming. Like it was just a bunch of friends. Okay. Like
so it's like a content site,
right?
Before content was the word,
right? So
sorry. I don't know why I had such a hard time saying that. I was just like, content is hard.
So, like, Funhouse is basically like if you were to take this panel that was aimed at like 16, 17, 18-year-olds and redo it and aim it at mid-20s to 30s.
Okay.
So the references are older. Like,
yeah.
You know, so it's essentially like it's a bunch
of like how the Hard Times is now.
A little bit, yeah.
Kind of pretty much like how a lot of like the Onion, Hard Times, and Reductress,
yes.
All those like sites are like kind of like
it's all aimed at 30-year-olds.
Way more relatable. And you're like, fuck. Exactly. How old are you again? By the way, you asked me earlier.
33.
I'm 35, guys. Just so I can say it on the. I'll be 35 this year. I think
I'll be 34 this year.
36 this year. Shit, no, I'm gonna be 36 this year. I'm 35 now. Fuck. What is it? It's gonna be 20. It's 22.
It's 22.
My birthday's in August. And I was born in 86. So I'll be 22. Nope, 32. Nope, 42. Wait, 37. Wait, 36.
You said 36 because my brother was born.
Anybody get bingo? Sorry about that. We're live. Gross Domesticated Podcast live. We have my lovely illustrious guest Kyle Shahan. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
I don't know why I always want to say Shanahan. Do you get that a lot?
Yeah.
Is that right?
No.
Okay.
You got it right.
Okay, Shahan. Nailed it. Shahan. And also introducing for the first time ever on camera, Carmela. That sounds a lot creepier, but it's a cat. If you're watching at home, you'll see the new addition to our family. She looks dead right now.
She looks like one of those like fake breathing cat statues.
They have fake breathing cat statues?
You've never seen this?
Let me look at that up.
Like the beach or something.
I just want to freak Dom out and bring another cat.
It'll be like they make them like cats and like puppies.
Fake
and they're like curled up, and they like have like a little like motor that makes their stomach raise up and down.
Oh,
Like
is that
breathing.
like? Oh man. Oh, so it's $53.
Yeah.
That's a fucking expensive. And this little orange one. That's really interesting. I don't understand why. Do you know what that's supposed to?
No idea.
Is it just supposed to make
scare grandma?
they're all like curled up. Like they're all. By the way, get this shit right. So I was bragging to you a little bit earlier before we started about how a lot of people they kind of refer to me as a cat whisperer or somewhat of a expert. I will tell you right now, this type of sleep means this cat is fully content and feels absolutely safe and is intended to sleep for a long time. If you look at the extended feet like this, straight out like that, and the exposed stomach, this cat is down for the count. This guy down here is a little bit more curled up. That just means it's just a little bit, he's a little bit more tentative because he still doesn't completely trust her. But off camera right here, it's fucking Stanley. This is exactly why this is here because they're friends now and they cannot be separated. So please, everybody, welcome Carmela as well as Kyle to the show. I'm so happy to have you here, buddy. Yeah. I've tried to start a new trend with anybody that I'm doing the show with. At the end of this, you don't have to do it on the show or not. I just ask for a suggestion for the next guest. So you can start thinking of it now. Anybody that you, as far as you know, hasn't been on the show or you'd like to see on the show or you think would be a good fit for the show, you don't have to worry about it right now. Right now, we're just worried about hanging out and talking. You know?
Sure.
So you play soccer. We were talking about that a little earlier. When did you start playing? Was that like a kid thing? Did you start as a kid? And
it was a kid thing, and then I stopped playing soccer for a little bit, started skateboarding, and then in my junior year of high school, I played again, and our team was I think, if not the worst, the second worst at least.
So were you like, was it the team itself, or was you just weren't like
the whole team
all
sucked.
of you were individually bad as well? Like, was there a shining star in your team, or were you like
I think we were all fairly mediocre. Actually, no, I don't want to say that.
Fairly mediocre.
So I was on junior varsity.
I love that you're like, I want to demean myself, but not completely.
Right.
I was pretty not bad.
Like, I know from my standpoint, I didn't fully understand.
Right. That was going to be my next question.
Yeah,
Do you watch it? Did you watch it when you were younger?
I didn't watch it when I was younger.
Okay, so you started playing before you started watching it.
Right.
So that's the part where I think where a lot of the confusion can come in.
Yeah.
Is you're playing a game that you don't fully know. Like football for a lot of American children.
I understood, and that was the thing. I understood how American soccer is like taught.
Okay.
Like fundamentally.
Yeah.
Where it is taught kind of more like back then, at least, it was really rigid.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they would give you your position covers this space. Yeah. That's not true.
What do you mean? So it was like a zone defense?
Yeah, like nobody can be out of, like, if you're on the field, you can be anywhere.
Okay.
A goalie could essentially.
Goalie can go anywhere?
Yeah.
They can even go to the other side of the.
They can go anywhere.
Can anybody protect the net?
So.
Because the
goalie is the only person that can use their hands within the box.
Oh. But so anybody can stop.
There's a 20-yard line. Mm-hmm. That's the box.
Yeah, the thing where it goes out like this.
Yeah.
Where it's almost, again, like the negative space of where the goal is. Like it's almost, is that equal to the size of the goal?
No.
Does it go back that far? The goal? You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's kind of what it looks like. It looks like a big square that's like cut in half. Half of it is net and the other half is not net.
No, it's not. No,
that's like their crease. That's what we call it in hockey. See, I only know how things are compared to hockey.
Hockey, okay.
Yeah.
So it would be like if the crease was a percentage longer on each side, the goal was shorter. Like that's kind of how it is. Like the goal is only like
past it. Like
I think the goal is only like 15 feet wide.
Mm-hmm. What position did you play? Not that I know the positions, but like were you weren't a goal? I know goalie and running guy. There's a goalie and then the guys that run.
I was a running guy.
Okay.
I was a running guy. I played specifically when I was younger. I played defense, either right
Mhm.
or left. I never really stuck to center because like it depends on your formations too.
Mhm.
Like that's kind of a weird thing. Like soccer's super fucking nuanced, and there's like so many fucking rules.
It really is so strange that
There's so many rules.
they just
yet
stop the game and they don't stop the clock. That's like how many rules are out there. Like
Stoppage.
we can't even. They just go like, man.
Yeah, because the keeper, the ref will just look down at their watch and be like, 50 more minutes. Fuck it.
Yeah, I just keep going. I fuck it. It's the weirdest sport.
It's momentum.
I got into it like I think I like a lot of people. During the World Cup, like every other 4 years. Is it 4 years?
Yeah.
Like every once in a while, everybody starts giving a shit about soccer or starts following it, just knows about it because it really is playoff sports for the most part. Any playoff sport is fun.
Yeah,
playoff baseball is cool. Playoff basketball, even I don't even really necessarily love basketball that much.
My favorite soccer to watch is not so. You have, and this is how I wish some American sports were.
Okay,
because it makes like this is the reason why Premier League soccer is.
We
can
fix it. We're here to fix it.
We're here to fix it. This is like, and this is the like. So they have relegation. So I'm going to put this into hockey terms.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So you have, all the teams in the NHL.
No, I'm on board so far.
Okay. So
it's known as a league.
Yeah, the league.
Got it.
So let's say like the NHL is the U.S. Premier League. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, that I do like this.
It's
Yeah, the
US
different leagues. Yeah.
So U.S. Premier League. So the top, I think it's the top 3 or 5 teams. It's been a while since I've watched.
Yeah, I think it's 5. I think I know what you're talking about.
The top 5 teams, they go off and they play in Champions League.
Yeah,
which is the other top teams from other Premiership teams. So that's like in like soccer, it's the top 5 from England, the top 5 from Germany, the top 5 from Italy, Spain.
So each one of those go into the World League.
And then there's other ones like I remember like Celtic was for a while, which like Irish. Celtic was, but it was like only Celtic made it. Like not other.
Oh, no other Irish.
No other Irish teams made it.
Wow.
And I remember
Talk
Celtic.
About pressure. Jesus,
it's fucking weird. Like,
and it's only that team. They can't like say, okay, now can we?
And
grab...
it's only European teams.
Yeah.
So
I thought so. The thing I was thinking about was where they had like playoffs, and then like the bottom teams were dropped out of the league.
Yeah,
is that the thing you're
relegation?
Talking about?
So the bottom 2, the bottom 2 or 3 teams, I think it's the bottom 2, get dropped. So in the NHL, it would be really fucking interesting to see.
Yeah.
The bottom 2 teams from the NHL.
Yeah, because there's 32 teams right now. I think.
Right.
Yeah, fuck, that'd be crazy.
Dropped, and the AHL, the top 2 get bumped up.
That is like, dude, that is exactly what.
You know which games are the fucking best to watch?
Those.
The relegation games are.
Where they're like, fuck, dude,
exactly.
fuck, dude.
You have it like it.
I have a Ferrari.
Yeah, it's like. Oh,
that's right.
It's like great to see, like, the fucking championship game. That's all fun, but it's like it's pretty, it's refined. They don't really have anything to lose.
Yeah.
Those bottom fucking teams
they have everything to
lose fucking everything,
and that changes.
And it's so hard to get back in.
Yeah, because you have to be the best out of all of these, and they're all fighting for that.
Exactly,
dude. That is so. There's something about so I think it's the world stage aspect of it, like because I'll give a shit about the Olympics only when they happen. Right. I won't care about qualifying. I won't care about dude. The next day, I'll go what?
Yeah,
well, yeah. I think there were I can't even tell you where the Olympics were. The day after. They're like, where were they? I think it was Milan. I don't know. Was it winter? It's winter now. So yeah, I think it was Winter Olympic, so I think it's the world stage. So that's why I don't know if you're a fan of like fighting or anything like that, of any kind of combat sport.
I check in every now. I basically catch like the highlights,
like the big name fights, like you're like,
or just like a wild knockout, or a really like
almost like how I would with like baseball. I like the home runs.
Yeah,
I like the great plays.
Or like somebody who's like, like I can't remember what I saw. It was like a clip popped up on my feed the other day of like some dude like just eating like fucking direct hits, and like he like gets knocked down to his knee, and like he looks like he's out.
Yeah.
And then like 2 seconds later, like he's back up and he knocks.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So that's so funny that I know the exact fight you're referring to. It's where Pat Barry almost finishes. I believe it's Czech Congo, or it might not be Czech Congo, but it might be. He was like, and he had him out, and you're like, that could have been stopped there, but it wasn't. Mm-hmm. Got back up, knocked him out, and he was knocked out where he
Like
had his
cold.
eyes rolled back.
Yeah. Like
Like
he was like full
Yeah.
stiff as a board.
That guy is also married to the former strawweight champion Rose Namajunas.
Oh.
You may be Thug Rose. You might be familiar with her. She's probably one of the face. She's more of a celebrity of
Okay.
the thing.
Is
She's
she like a short haired like?
yeah, she's shaved head.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that?
Like she's got like a pointy nose.
Kind of.
Doesn't she?
Oh no, I think that might be a different lady you're thinking of.
Okay.
But you're right. That there's plenty of
Yeah.
there's plenty of these ladies out here fighting. You know what I mean?
You know the one with the cornrows.
Yeah, you know the broad with the cornrows. No, it's incredible like stories that you don't give. For me, in my opinion, I think that soccer and fighting are the two sports where you don't qualify for a girl.
No,
like WNBA, great. I don't know if anybody's seen the recent Bill Burr special that was out.
Nah,
Excellent subject matter. Funny jokes about the NBA brought up, or WNBA, sorry. But like, I don't think of like, oh, Rose is a great fighter for a girl. And I think there's something about maybe the division part of it, like the fleetless. What is it? I'm trying to think of the word. Basically, the fleeting aspect of being on top.
Yeah.
That is also something that's shared too, because what you're talking about, where getting dropped down to the bottom leagues and you have to be the best, is like a storyline that's unfolding kind of recently. One of the greatest fighters, female fighters, Amanda Nunes, was like a champ in two divisions. She had a championship in this division and a championship with 10 pounds more in another division, lost one of her belts. And it's an aspect that I brought up even on the last show of it's a theory where like, it's hard to get up at. It's like, I wish I could give the fuck. I'm gonna look it up actually right after I say it. It's the quote that I love. It's hard to wake up. It's hard to wake up at 6 a.m. when you're sleeping in silk sheets.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And that's something that there's so many parallels to this. Besides just it being on a world stage. Besides, there's a lot more. I think I should like soccer more, but I just can't get to the point where I love the rules about it. I don't like the flopping. But that's just whatever. Oh, okay. No, please.
I mean, run for 90 minutes.
Look,
I've done it. I've flopped.
You flopped?
Yeah, it's strategy.
And that's what I'm saying. Is like, I get it.
It really, like, I mean, like,
I don't think they're pussies. I think that it pisses me off because I'm like, all right.
I remember getting screamed at one time.
For flopping?
No, for not.
Oh, for not flopping?
Yeah, because we were like literally, I just remember like getting off the field and somebody just like, why didn't you go down? I was like, what do you mean? It's like, that dude fouled you.
Yeah.
Like
Teddy Atlas. Sorry.
Teddy Atlas.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, but he was just like, I just remember the one guy who was like, that dude obviously blatantly fouled you. And you kept going. And I was like, yeah.
I want to win the game.
But I wasn't like in a scoring opportunity. Yeah. And he was just like, you could have like gone down. You could have like hammed it up. And you would have bought the rest of the team 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. So it's a break for everybody.
Everybody.
Oh, see, you are giving me context to this. It doesn't make me change my mind so much about it yet.
Sure.
But it does
also,
change my mind.
Also, a lot of it is like a lot of the dudes that flop so they don't get hurt.
So is that the same thing with basketball too? Because I've seen that with basketball a couple times.
Stop.
Like where they go
stop, your whole team gets arrested.
Huh. I mean, but they also have more. They are able to alternate more.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like soccer's fucking brutal.
Yeah,
when you get to that fucking level, because I remember like I'll play like men's like rec outdoor.
Mm-hmm.
I can't play outdoor anymore.
Oh really? So you play? Oh wow, you play indoors. I don't.
Oh my god, indoors so much.
Like, I don't think I realized you had that option.
Yeah. Well, what
do you play on? Like just AstroTurf or something?
It's like long blade turf. It sucks because it cuts you.
Yeah.
Like
it cuts you? What do you mean? Like when you fall on it?
Like when you slide through grass?
Like if you piss it off.
Yeah. Like when you slide through like normal grass, the blades break.
Uh-huh.
And like nobody ever like pulls that into account.
Yeah.
But, like there's so much grass on a field.
I would think,
like, you never understand that like when you're sliding across it, the blades are breaking apart.
Yeah. Unless you watch it in super slow-mo on Fox. Then you see it.
But if you're on AstroTurf or like long blade turf in indoor,
it's like a road rash almost.
It goes straight and it's just slicing you.
One of the current UFC champions right now is actually an ex-rugby player.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be, and he's in the division. He's in the featherweight 145 division, He's 145 when he weighs in.
All right.
And he used to be like 213 or something like that. He's some crazy amount. It's
healthy.
Dude, no. If you look at, actually, he's also a chef as well. Alex Volkanovski. Dude, this guy is like a jack of all trades. This Australian dude.
This is the thing that
you have to be everything nowadays.
I know,
Kyle.
I know. And I have
play soccer.
I know. I have a friend who wanted me like. So he's had, I think, 7 professional fights.
Okay.
And he wanted me to spar with him.
Yeah, why not though?
Because he's just, his record was like 1-0. Oh, wait, 1-6.
Well. Wait, so
which one's wins and which one's losses?
Wins is the first one.
Oh, 6-1.
Okay, there you go. I was gonna say, I was like, okay, that changes drastically.
He's 6-1. He's like I don't know what class, like what weight class
he's 6-1 and 1 and a half dozen in the other. You know what I mean?
What was it? He's like,
he's good. He's too good for. See, but the sparring is different though.
Yeah, I understand that. But like for me to be in his class, I would have to unhealthily lose weight, and he would have to meet me halfway.
Oh wait, he wants to fight you?
No, he was like, yeah, you can get in my class if you wanted to, and it's just like, how would we do that?
You could,
like,
yeah.
It was like, well, yeah. We would have. He's like, I would have to go up a class. You'd have to come down.
You know the Taco Bell you stopped at?
Yeah,
yeah. That's it.
Yeah,
it's basically those things where you're like, fuck. You're like, because I was saying the same thing to a friend of mine. I was at my heaviest. I was 413, and I've gotten down to now where I've kind of plateaued. I can't really get below 240. I'm at 265 because I gave up trying to get lower.
Yeah,
but I couldn't get lower than 240. I just couldn't, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, and he just brought up one day, my coworker, he brought up one day, he goes, he's like, that's like a lot of sugar. I was drinking like drinking a yogurt. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, that's a ton of sugar. And I was like, it's probiotic. He's like, no, I was like, it's organic. And he's like, that just means they didn't use pesticides on the fruit they used. Right. And I was like, oh, and I looked at it.
Probiotic only means like gut. Like pH.
Yeah, and that's all that means. Yeah. And I already take a probiotic in the morning. Right. I don't need it. Right. So I was looking at it, and he's like, here, let me just look this up. And he got his phone out, and he's like, he looked up the grams of sugar in it, and he's like, yeah, this is like the same grams of sugar in a can of Coca-Cola. And I was like, oh, because when I started to lose weight, all it was is I started with like calorie count. I've done a couple different things over the years. Yeah. Calorie counting, intermittent fasting works the best for me. And also exercise, finding an exercise that you like. We were talking about that earlier about skateboarding. You love doing soccer. You love doing, and that stuff accounts for you to eat whatever you want.
Oh,
like you do enough physical exercise.
I'm actually not even at that point anymore. I actually have to like cross train.
So. Oh, you have to go more?
Yeah,
you have to go more.
Yeah, like Fuck. No, I'm at a. The problem is that I'm at a skateboarding and soccer are not good on your body.
Yeah, they're bad on your knees. They're bad on your hips. You're bad on your everything. Yeah. Shins. So, yeah, because you're doing nothing but just running and just putting damage on those joints.
Yeah, and like, yeah.
Do you take any supplements or anything? Do you take any? See, that's what I started doing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I knew I wasn't getting the nutrition I needed.
Let me preface that. I take a Flintstones chewable every day.
Thank you for your honesty. Yeah. I appreciate the
I don't know how much of a vitamin as much as it is like a Smartie.
So it's like a little sugar rush, a placebo.
A placebo, yeah.
There's a it's a weird thing with me that like I got to the point where I started to eat better. But not good. Like it started with, I think I got that mentality from, there was a book, a dieting reference guide called Eat This, Not That.
Right.
Back in the day, a friend of mine started doing that. I was like, oh yeah, just make better choices at McDonald's. And that's what it started. Dude, I'm telling you, it's where it started. It led to here, but I still have that mentality of like, well, yeah, I trained all day and I didn't eat till 12. So I should have pizza for lunch. And I do, but I'm still maintaining, you know what I mean? But that's exactly why I can't plateau. Like you could get down to his what he's talking about, but you would have to be fucking disciplined that it's like, this isn't worth living. I don't want to do this. Not being skinny or nothing tastes as good as being skinny feels.
No, fuck that.
Suck my ass, dude. Have you had poutine? Dude, it's way better than I could be my skinniest and I would go, boy, I wish I had some poutine right now.
my favorite is
sausage or gravy and
Like, and
French
this
fries.
is the fucked up part. Is like I have like fairly good willpower. Of
Mhm.
like
I have terrible impulse control.
I have terrible impulse control.
Yeah.
But I have very good like elongated discipline willpower.
Okay. So over time, you can build better habits.
Like I quit drinking with no meetings.
do you think? Oh, so do you think you had an issue?
I had a problem. Yeah.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
apologize for earlier. I don't think I realized. I offered him a beer. Sorry. Oh, I don't know. Are you sober? Or are you
Yeah.
just sober
Well,
with that?
California sober.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
And like a very like
I like it. I like it.
like seldom with that even.
Yeah.
Like like every now and then like we just went to.
You're not a person that would be like fucking party bro. Like you're not like.
I was.
Oh, so you felt like it was a codependency kind of thing, almost like you was.
It was I didn't process emotions, so
Okay,
I would no, you're good. I didn't process emotions, so I would just drink.
Uh-huh.
And then also it was like textbook alcoholism, so it was like once I had more than one, we weren't stopping.
Is that in your family, you think, or do you?
Yeah,
you know okay,
yeah. Like my grandparents are pretty high functioning alcoholics.
yeah. I think that's it.
Both of my parents don't drink. They're Mormon now, but they.
Oh
did,
wow,
they
I didn't know that.
They didn't drink before it.
Was that before you were? Were you that? You got special underwear on? No judgment. Hey, no judgment.
No.
All are welcome.
No. Actually, it was weird. My dad converted when I was 15.
That's a weird time.
Yeah,
that's a weird time. That's Latter-day Saints.
Yep.
So what is that? Were they religious? Were you guys religious before that?
No.
So what the fuck happened? Was it like a car accident? You just,
no,
like,
and that's a fucked up. That's a
experience?
fucked up thing about it. Is like,
did you ever ask him?
Yeah, I was just like, why this? And he
Yeah.
was just like, I don't know. Everybody seems like he was
Oh.
like he said he was like, I went to the church, it felt right, like everybody was
Oh,
happy,
okay.
like there was a sense of
Oh,
community.
so he had a feel. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
okay.
And it was funny because
It wasn't like oh,
I actually asked like two other people, like so I had a friend who became a Freemason,
Mhm.
and I have a
That's
friend
interesting.
who joined a motorcycle club.
that's less interesting.
Less interesting.
I gotta say, it's way less interesting. I have a lot of feelings about motorcycles and bikers in general. Like,
I mean, I ride motorcycles, but I'm not. In a club.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Take it easy
Yeah.
there, Chief. All right. Well, put your fucking switchblade away.
I don't have switchblade.
He pulled a boot knife out.
I'm a fucking like I am the nerdiest side of motorcycles,
Dude, that's why that's
Yeah.
part of it. Is there is I've seen it develop, and it's not. I don't mean this as like my brother was a person who got really into biker culture, but like at the time was I think he just enjoyed the community of it.
Yeah.
And I get that, and I like that, but also like a lot of it was image,
Sure.
and that's the kind of thing that I don't like any group that makes you dress a certain way or inspire. Like I don't see you don't see a ton of people on suits driving motorcycles. I'm just saying. I don't mean to sound like a parent, but I'm also like, what are you doing with your
riding
life?
suits, riding in suits?
Yeah. Wouldn't that look cool?
I mean, distinguished
A
gentleman's
juxtaposition.
Yeah,
A juxtaposition.
ride.
What the fuck did I say at first?
The distinguished gentleman's ride is like a yearly ride where you do that. You dress up in like tweed.
Is that a real thing?
It's a real thing.
That's the stuff that I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like that's the shticky stuff that I'm in. I'm into the community. I'm into like even car clubs. It's the thing
Now,
that
now,
I'm not
now
into
granted,
cars.
it's gone the opposite way with me because the first two times I ever did the distinguished gentleman's ride, I like tried to dress very nice.
Yeah. Is that not what you're supposed to do? Or is that,
Yeah,
or is that
it's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to dress very
Yeah.
nice and
you
like,
nailed it?
clean your motorcycle and like you're supposed to ride a vintage motorcycle, but the Lancaster one, it's like run what you brung.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, it doesn't
All right,
matter.
I gotcha.
I got so many weird like compliments the year that like because like I like dressing like this.
You're a dude.
Oh yeah,
Just like a dude.
Yeah. But like I had like a lot of people that were just like, oh wow, you clean up really well.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was just like,
Fuck you.
yourself,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Like, I'm a fucking- like it's like yeah, I know I'm a scumbag, but
Yeah.
like I can go to a wedding.
Well,
like,
I guess that's the thing is like
it was weird because people like treated me differently in the suit.
that's the thing I do respect about it is like I think just bikers sometimes I think they get to the point where it's almost like anarcho cops. They just become this weird like force of like brotherhood. I don't like the brotherhood.
Yeah.
When it gets to that point where it's like
Well, that's
I'm cool with a community and a literal club.
Yeah.
But like when you say bikers club, a lot of times there's like a lot of bullshit behind it that I'm like,
well, it's a fraternity.
and it's like, and you wear a patch and you wear a thing.
Yeah.
And like, to me, there's something about it. I don't know if it's just my nihilistic ways, my peaceful nihilism, but I'm like, nothing really matters ultimately.
No.
So I do respect the nomad culture of it, but it's just all of the other aspects of biker culture that I'm like,
I think
either you're perpetuating something, either you're a phony. I see a lot of pickup trucks in Florida. That's the thing. I would see a lot of pickup trucks in Florida with 2 stickers on it. A big old Harley Davidson sticker on it.
Mhm.
And then also another sticker that says, "Look twice, save a life."
Sure.
Motorcycles are you are taking the risk.
Yeah.
You're the outlaws. Go be the fucking outlaws and make sure we don't hit you, stupid. And okay, sorry. I have you here and I want to know your honest feelings about loud pipes save lives.
That's bullshit.
Ruin neighborhoods.
Yeah,
they fucking piss my cats off, and I don't like it.
So the loud pipe save lives argument is from my perspective bullshit.
Yeah,
because
there's so many aspects of it.
Well, no. Like. So I look at it very logically. The Doppler effect.
Yeah,
the pipe's pointing the wrong way for it to do anything.
Right, it's behind you. It could be anywhere. It's bouncing off. It's
and if your pipe is that loud that people a mile away are hearing you,
yeah.
Your pipes are too.
They want
loud.
to kill you. You're having a reverse effect.
Yeah, your pipes are too loud, and you're gonna go deaf.
Yeah.
Like you can't hear what's around you.
Right. It's there's so many parts of it that are like it just I guess it bothers me, but it's more of my irrational judgment of people. I think that's what it is.
Now I do hear a lot of it more from and you see it all online, like all the fucking helmet camp stuff. Like 90% of it is in like commuting traffic and the highway.
Yeah.
Like it's very seldom that it's like a windy fucking back road.
Right.
That you see some, and there are videos out there, obviously, because it's like, it's statistical. Like,
yeah, it's going to happen if there's people out on the road and stuff like that.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. Like I've been out on rides with people and like, we'll be on comms and like someone will like car cut us off.
Yeah.
And they'll fucking talk about it for like 20 minutes. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I don't care.
Yeah. Just be careful. You got to watch out. Yeah. People are they cut me off in a car.
I remember at one point, like the only time I ever really got upset, and it wasn't really upset as more of like, I like look back at the person and was like,
yeah,
it was at an intersection. They had the red and they did like an illegal left.
Yeah.
And they just weren't thinking.
Yeah.
And you could see it on their face.
That's all it takes.
They just weren't thinking. And they like cut. I had enough time to react, but I had no time to stop before them.
Yeah.
And like they panicked.
You had enough time to go, oh shit.
Well, I had enough time to react.
Yeah.
The thing is that they pulled out, stopped in the lane when they realized they made the mistake. And then they see like a motorcycle's coming. So they just freeze. And I was just like, I'm glad they just froze.
Yeah.
Because I locked their rear up, slid, and like rode around them, which is fine because like I can do that.
Yeah. You have the ability to.
Yeah. And like I went around and went through the intersection, just pulled over and just like sat for a second. I was just like,
right.
All right.
But I guess so in that case, I'm a very conscious driver. I'm very aware.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
but I'm saying, yeah, but I'm saying like, even as a person, so that's why, at least for me, the risk reward element of motorcycles is kind of like to have like a lot of the outlaw. It's like, I think that's what it is me projecting my thoughts of how they think they are.
And they're doing the same thing.
I'm just so fucking cool. Look at fucking me. I'm riding a fucking motorcycle because it's cool. It looks cool, and it is arguably very cool.
And that's the annoying part is like I ride dual sports.
But then it's like, but could you watch out for me, please? Sure. Hey, watch out for the motorcycles, would you?
I ride dual sports, and I used to ride street bikes. But like mostly I do like
did you race them or did you?
No. Okay. Well, I've gone to track days, but but that's just for me to be
I didn't know like your level. Are you like you're an experienced motorcycle pilot?
I've done the cross state
you've
lines like I haven't gone like across country.
Okay.
But like I've like crossed state lines, driven at night.
He's done that thing at
passenger
you did a person on the back?
Yeah, right. People on the back, nice. I've had experiences with all of those type of things. Like I prefer to ride on roads to go off road.
Okay, so like you ride to a spot where you can go off road.
Right.
Okay.
Or
yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, unpaved or whatever.
So
like like
the element of
drivable trail.
you do it almost like it's like
A Jeep.
yeah. You're instead of a Jeep guy, you're a bike guy. You're not a biker in the sense of like I'm gonna wear the.
I don't wear vests.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I
stuff
don't
like
wear.
that. It's
Yeah,
just so
I'm
much.
I'm not about club culture.
Yeah,
I understand where some guys need friends.
it's almost like we were talking about punk music earlier, like how there's these or even comedy. I think we're talking about it in comedy, where like there's these rules of like you can't do this, you can't do that, or this is a rule for this.
I do like the contradictions of bike clubs where it's like fuck the government, fuck law enforcement, fuck this.
But you got to play your club dues. You got to play your club dues.
Or like there are so many rules.
And there's a tax here, and there's
and you tied in.
So you're just a mini government. You're just a little mini government.
You're a church
of criminals.
It's a church.
Oh, yeah, either one.
Yeah.
Same thing. Hey, no difference.
Like that's like.
So is that part of, where you kind of like realized when you were not that you were part of the culture of like a bike culture, but I'm sure you hung out with other people that rode.
I
and
love
like
going to like bike events.
Did that have to do with like? So was it a matter of I want to slow down with the drinking. I don't want to have any drinking because I like riding my bike so much.
No,
and
so
were you like riding drunk a lot?
No, I actually quit drinking when I was 23. I didn't start riding motorcycles till I was 27.
Okay.
So there's like a gap there.
Yeah.
Like I kind of had the mentality of like, oh, I'll kill myself doing this thing. And then like I sat there and thought about it. I was like, you skateboarder for 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's all it is, dude. It's just about, I think what hobbies we do when we get older are just kind of ways that we would be okay dying.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is like I would be, not that I want it to happen, but if I died doing jujitsu, I like legitimately would die doing something that I love.
Yeah. But that's like, I was actually thinking,
I don't mean to put bad juju. Hold on. Let me knock on some. That's not real wood.
What? Yeah. Whatever.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
No. I
don't know if you're super. We'll get into that in a little bit, but
not really. Somewhat, but not really.
You're not superstitious, really? You don't?
Not really.
Is it?
It's a nihilistic like outlook on life. That's what it is.
I still have it. I still have weird things where like as soon as it's more of not a religious thing, but it's more of when I worked in kitchens. As soon as you say, wow, it's not
slow.
busy. Yeah. I can't believe how slow it is today. It's Friday evening. And it's like, and it's just like fire. And then everybody hates your guts.
Right.
So it's almost like I've associated with saying a bad thing, speaking a bad thing into existence.
Karmic.
And going like, no. I just kidding. Whatever's here or there or anywhere around. It's always that. So I don't mean to speak it into
like
existence.
The karmic balance.
Yeah. So you were more of, this was like a thing where you're like, I want to ride motorcycles. And was it like something you were always interested in, or was it like you wanted to?
So I liked cars.
Okay.
But you have to have money.
Yes.
Like it's like honestly, like the disparity between working on an old bike and working on an old car.
Yeah.
Is like astronomical.
There's less parts. Is there less parts or
it's everything's accessible.
Does it translate? Did you know about how to work on a car, and so it translated over to like, oh, that's the carburetor.
You have all like the muscle memory. Yeah, I mean, a motorcycle.
I know nothing about that stuff.
A motorcycle engine and a car engine, other than like configuration.
Yeah, because you got to get it into a tighter spot.
Yeah, it's still gas going into a cylinder, exploding, and moving a piston.
Did you do well in school? Was that like a? No, I'm just saying like I guess it's
not necessarily.
I don't have like a very. I don't know if I have a learning disability. I was never diagnosed with one. I think I do. I roll with a lady who assesses that, but for children, and I was like, could you do that? Yeah, I don't think you could do that.
When you're older, you have so many other fucked up.
It's already it's just all built in now. So I definitely feel like I experienced that, and I always contributed that, and also lack of dad to why I didn't know a lot of mechanical stuff, and I never had that interest in that bikes or anything.
I mean, my dad taught me a little bit, but not like, I mean, it's like basic maintenance, but just like the groundwork.
Yeah. I know. I mean, I can change oil, I can change a tire, I can do like basic stuff like that. But like knowing what a carburetor is, don't know what it is. Don't know if I
didn't. No, you don't.
I don't.
No.
You sure?
In your car?
Yeah, in the Ford Fusion hatchback or Focus hatchback.
It's fuel injected.
Damn. Well, obviously, if it's fuel injected, there's going to be a fuel injector.
Yeah.
Right.
and a math.
Yep. Right. And then the little door on the thing where you put the gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. I know the parts.
Is it port injected?
So basically, we're
direct
basically the
inject-
same. Yeah.
I don't know. I knew like a good amount. I knew a good amount about cars. I didn't know how everything worked, but I understood like every component's job.
Okay, so you knew the cogs in the wheel, but you didn't know like
how they work.
Like you knew how a combustion engine is supposed to work, and you could go like, okay, so that's that,
right.
and that goes to that.
But once you get down, you need to know like the basics, and then you can hone in.
Yeah, I know
the specifics.
This one go. This one stop.
Right.
Blinker. Nope, that's not the blinker. That's the windshield. That's the blinker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to fail the test. I'm more of I'm a big driving advocate guy. I think a lot of drivers around here are really shitty. So I kind of do respect you, like being a person who rides like motorcycles and shit around here.
This is my biggest qualm.
It's weird.
Did
you take a driver's test when you were a kid? Like when you were in school? Did you?
No.
So that was my theory. Was maybe people around here don't do driver's ed.
Didn't get my license until I was 18 because I didn't want to do. So I don't know if it changed now, but back when I got my license, it was you get your permit when you're 16. You do 6 months of log driving,
and you have to have like a 21-year-old person next to you. Yeah. So you didn't want to have to go through all that rigmarole.
So I waited till I was 18, and the waiting terms was a week.
Oh. And do you have to log any hours or anything? Oh, so you do it if you have to do it. Yeah, see, I took the fucking I think that's what it was. That was like the only class in school besides art classes that I was good at.
Oh, okay.
Was driver's ed because I was
machine
like,
operating.
It's easy. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Machine operating.
I was at a tech school or adjacent to a tech school on the south side of St. Pete.
Okay.
So like that for some reason, and maybe that was it too. Like, okay, this is a way out. This is a practical thing. I don't think I'm going to do anything with algebra. I don't think I'm actually going to do anything with that because it doesn't interest me.
See, that's a fucked
cars. I'm like, I can get the fuck out of here. I wanted to travel.
That's the fucked up thing is that I have the same mentality. I was like, I don't need algebra. I don't need trig. I don't need calc. And then I ended up being a fucking mechanical engineer.
That's what I was going to say. So that's why I was asking if you were like any kind of engineer or anything in school. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I do. I'm sorry. My job title is mechanical design. I went to school for mechanical engineering.
So I
knew all that shit before.
Yeah.
Honestly,
you're creative.
I'm a glorified CAD operator.
No,
now.
But what you are is a practical like artist.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Because I wanted
to have a practical use for your art.
I wanted to go to art school.
Yeah,
out of high school, and I remember my one art teacher, my favorite art teacher,
said, "You suck," and you
no. He pulled me aside, and he was like, "What do you like?" Because there's an art college in Lancaster, PCAD, Pennsylvania College of Art and Design, and it's right there.
P-Tech was where I was right across the street from.
They're all pretty much the same thing.
Yep.
But I remember we all toured there because I was in my senior year of high school. I was in 4 or 5 art classes.
Wow, that's awesome. How'd you do that? Dude, I would have stayed in high school if I knew you could take 5 art classes.
So the way that ours set up is like small learning communities, so you can like focus things.
Oh, they cared about you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, so we were the only. So Lancaster, like McCaskey, was like the inner city school. Like if you can have an inner city school in Lancaster.
That was like I went to the
inner city school. Yeah. It was like I remember like
it was inner borough.
I had friends that went to like all the schools around it, and they're just like, "When's your tractor day?" I was like, "What?
Tractor day?
Tractor day?
What is tractor? Oh yeah. Also, you guys do a thing up here that's so fucking strange and is amazing to me that they don't do it in Florida. You guys the schools are closed for hunting or something. The first day of hunting season.
That's the county schools, yeah.
Okay. Oh, so that's not a state. Well, that's not like Pennsylvania. That's just the.
It's popular with Pennsylvania schools.
Yeah,
but like school district of Lancaster, the city schools don't.
Oh, okay. Because that's like, dude, that's I heard that they were like, it's opening day of deer season, so schools are closed. I'm like, what? So you're not going to shoot the children today? You're going to shoot the deer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not the inner city, like McCaskey and all the schools in Lancaster City, downtown Lancaster. They don't get the opening day of deer season off.
Do
But
you guys
all
like
of the county schools that are
yeah,
just outside of the
adjacent
city,
ones? Yeah,
they all get it.
that's nuts.
So
Okay,
everybody
okay.
we play sports against has off
Hmm.
opening day of deer season.
That's really strange.
Yeah.
So you also think that's strange? Excuse me.
Yeah, I get it.
You don't like hunt or anything?
No.
Right? Yeah.
I understand it from like a logistical standpoint
Yeah.
because you're just like, look, everybody's calling off this day anyway.
Yeah, but I guess that's the thing. Is like
It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
For them.
For them, yeah, that's and that's why like it's just that not being exposed to those cultures so much, or the exposure that you have to those cultures. Same thing with bikes, same thing with soccer, same thing with anything else.
I just don't understand how like how we haven't wiped a deer out.
Yeah, how and then it's always like this, like, well, this is actually good for population control. And I was just like, I remember thinking that back in the day when my boss used to say shit like that. I was just like,
well, yeah, it's that way because we fucking killed all the predators. There's no bear
right.
Here
Like we live here now, so there's nothing here to kill you. So we have to kill you. Okay. If I have to.
I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it because at dusk it's like the worst time to ride. And that's the deer start fucking crossing the roads.
That was another thing that I was like, is it so it's not the same in like Vermont or like Canada or something like that, where they're like, we got to kill all these moose, we got to kill all these beaver. So.
Yeah,
you know,
I think it's just you call off if you're really that into it. But I don't know. I feel like in America we like have like such fandom in the culture that we have.
Yeah, like it gets so extreme to where we have we want, like, I get why we turn every cause into a team. I think that's really what it is. Like we have,
and who's this like month, and like you have and there's like a group of people in those things that are just like, I'm the biggest fan of this.
Yeah, and I'm just like, such,
you have no part of it.
Does anybody
have no inner working
all year?
Other than you consume it?
Yeah,
and that's it.
Hey,
and like,
did you know it's Administrative Professional Day? And it's like, no, nobody did except for you.
Yeah, and like that's the thing with like even like skateboarding. Like it's like a big, like there are a bunch of unwritten rules in skateboarding. I don't know if you ever heard like Mark Norman talk about skateboarding and comedy.
No. What was this? Is it like? So it's the same idea. I would assume also don't wear shorts because you're gonna scrape your knees.
Whatever. You might pay for it.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
So is it like what are like the parallels? What do you think?
What he says is like, you know, like if you're trying a joke, it's like trying a trick. You know, you can hurt. You try your jokes out. Yeah, and like if you fuck up, you get hurt. But like you have to perfect that trick to get it.
Yeah.
And eventually once you land it, it feels fucking great. And like that's the fucking payoff.
Yeah.
It's not getting paid for it. It's not doing anything else. It's you got that joke to work.
Right.
You get the satisfaction of it.
Yeah.
And that's what drives you to keep going.
I like that. Yeah.
But like the fucking like weird like caddy things with it where it's like there's like a whole list of tricks that like every skateboarder has deemed illegal.
What does that mean? What is it like you can't do it?
No, you can do it. It's just you're gonna catch shit from other people for doing them because everybody's gonna like rag on you for doing those tricks.
So so there would be like maybe considered hacky tricks.
Yes.
So like a kickflip.
That's standard.
So okay, so that but all right, so
everybody does kickflip.
That's my fucking problem. It's the same idea with maybe not as much with skateboarding, obviously, but if there is parallels to comedy, is hacky versus standard. Hacky versus standard, because
so
sometimes
you have hacky, standard, and then you have like core.
We were at the roast battle recently, right? There were some jokes, and I have a terrible time hiding expressions on my face. So sometimes Dom will be talking to me and I'll go like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm just like, and she's like, what? And I'm like, nothing, I'm just listening. Like my tone is still the same. I'm just like, no, what are you talking about? But my face is going like, what are you like just squishing like I just ate a lemon.
Yeah.
So somebody made a joke and the crowd goes, blah! And I'm just like, it's like that person loses. Fuck all of you. But you don't determine it. I determine it.
Yeah, but that's like a.
It's just taste, I guess.
I mean,
it's taste,
well,
really.
So like you're in it.
Yeah.
You do comedy.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like it worked. I can't argue if it worked.
Dude,
but
the
is it
fucking
hacky or is it standard? You know what I mean? Like
I remember Audrey told me about this one joke, and I can't remember what the actual joke was.
which one of my jokes was it?
No, not
Oh,
you.
I thought she was gonna be like, here's the definition.
It
of
was
hacky.
one of her jokes. It was one of her jokes, and this has nothing to do with the actual joke itself. But
Yeah.
she mentioned that she got a Diet Coke, and she found that because of the way she delivered it, people laughed.
Yeah.
At that part,
Dude, I gotta. Yeah, it's weird when you're like, why are you laughing at this part?
Yeah. My
But then you
my
guess
best,
what? Next time I tell that joke, I'm gonna be mentioning
best
how I got a Diet Coke.
Right. My best example of it is back when we were doing the open mics at the Lizard Lounge.
Yeah.
It was just one weird night. Everybody was like,
yeah,
not feeling it. Weird room. So nobody's getting anything.
Yeah.
It's most of the community, and it's still.
And it's always that.
All
it's
the comics.
It's just an off night, and everybody goes like, I can do it, and they go up
Right.
there, and you're like, no,
you can't.
And you're like, fuck, I can't do it.
No, you can't.
That's usually what I said. I'm like, damn, I thought this was gonna go better.
And,
Goodbye.
I think the problem was like nobody could start.
Yeah.
Like nobody could get their set off to a good start.
Right.
So it just like funked the rest of their set.
And like each one of those is like if you start out stumbling, you're not gonna be able to like end strong.
Right.
You're not gonna be like at the end of it.
And I just remember like I thought about this and this was back when I was like I think like 6 months in at some point. I was just like I remember like walking on stage and just like it popped in my head as I was walking up, and I was just like, oh, I'll give that a try. And I was just like didn't say anything.
Yeah.
This is back when like I had terrible like etiquette as far as like a comic where it was, like I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I was just like mic out of the stand behind me, joke.
Yeah. Like, anyway.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, were you in the middle of a sentence?
Exactly. No,
what's your name? How are you?
No,
we're doing good. Thanks for asking.
So I like went up, Mike stand behind me, turned back around, was just like, Gwen Stefani's holler back girl's the reason why I can't spell bandana. And like the whole room like fell apart. And I just remember looking back and seeing T, and T just looked confused.
That's what I'm saying. Like
and he was just like, what? I was just like,
you're right. I don't know.
And like I had already like I tried selling it also with like a face of confusion, and then that just like made it more genuine because I was like, how the fuck did that work?
Yeah.
And like it carried at least in the middle of my set, I'm sure, because I had a terrible set of
you live off of that. Yeah, you're like, fuck, that's awesome. I wish I would have saved that for last.
Right. But it was just like, actually, no, I don't wish I would have saved
because
it wouldn't have worked.
At least, it wouldn't have worked because it has to be out of nowhere.
Yeah. So it was just like,
because there's nothing wrong necessarily with what you're talking about, starting, taking the mic out, putting it behind it. If your first joke is going to be good,
right,
or at least great.
Sure.
Like it has to be. It can't just be like anyway, like that.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's like, I just remember like saying that like after I like did the joke, I remember even I talked to like Kyle Neff.
Yeah.
Because like I always tend to because of how well he writes.
Yeah, I respect his opinion.
Yeah.
For
so
sure. Yeah.
I respect Kyle's opinion. I respect Audrey's opinion. Mm-hmm. I respect Jared McCallie. I go to Abby Good because
she's great.
Yeah, Abby and I have like
I would call her Abby Great.
Abby's fantastic.
She never hears that. I'm sure she's never heard that. I'm gonna write that down. Actually,
write it down. But like me and Abby write very similarly. Mm-hmm. Like when our process starts, like the starting result of a joke.
Yeah. The structure you have.
Either of us could be saying it.
Right. You have the framework of like, oh, this could be a Kyle joke, or this could be.
And like the subject matter is like it's obscure enough and also observational.
Mm-hmm.
And like I found like that's like where I like to sit.
Yeah, I think I like that when but even something like that where it just pops into your head. I think those times, especially when it's like early on like that, especially 6 months in or something, is you always have that thought of like, first of all, usually my thought is, somebody has to have thought of this.
Yeah.
But when that first happens, you're like, oh, and you like hold on to it so tight. You're like, this is awesome.
I don't even care.
But it does. You really don't even care. Like even that early on,
no.
Like, because that's the thing is like, it's so hard to get
if it's
structured. Do you know what I mean?
I guess like
it's hard to find you. Like if that is truly something that you want to put out there, like, you know what I'm saying? Like if that's a true representation of you, and it really is, you thought of it word for word, said it.
Yeah.
You didn't doubt yourself. That was you.
There are certain things where I'm just like, fuck it, like go for it. Like just, it's an open mic. somebody will tell you if it's fucking Dom.
Oh, you don't care. Okay, no, that's
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
saying. I thought you meant like you don't care about finding a good job. I was like, wait,
Oh,
what
no,
are you
no, no,
talking
no,
about?
no,
Like,
no.
this is
If-
awesome. I get this joke.
If you found it,
No.
if
Yeah.
you found it, run with it. Like,
Yeah.
fuck it. Like, and like even like
I just don't like to give myself the credit of like, oh yeah, you just thought of a great funny thing. But when I know it's undeniable, like I wrote a joke about it, the John F. Kennedy $50, the
Yeah.
$50 piece, and it came when I was counting change in my thing, and I had a Kennedy $50 and had a genuine thought and was like, oh my god, that's awesome, and wrote it down. It was like, and that's why like I feel like that it's so it was almost like that same idea of like, boom, thought of it, really funny, write it down, and I'm like, it just was. I didn't have to think of it. I didn't have to word it differently than I originally thought of it. Just the way I thought of it was funny, and that's when it was almost like that's a fun little. This fucking sounds lame. What is it? It's like a souvenir of like, oh shit, like that was my first awesome, like my first good structured, funny thought, original thought.
right.
And I think that's the standard, is like that's what it should be. You should be thinking in that vein. And when you think, okay, look at that thing, then how do I process that thing?
Right.
That's your perspective.
I like to do that.
Yeah.
But also like I like to try to find those moments.
Yes. Yeah. I love the improvisational aspect of like shit in the hat. Yeah. Or going up with like, all right, I know how I'm going to start my set, but I don't know how I'm going to finish it.
I thought you were about to say it's like going up to a roast battle knowing nothing.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
I highly
no, dude. But you did so. That's what you're supposed to do. You made it that far.
Never recommend doing
right. No, and that was the thing that I brought up.
I was so certain.
Yeah.
That like I was just like, all right, cool. And this was what it was. My thought process was, I don't know Andrew Moore. Andrew Moore has so much fucking ammo on me because I don't private anything.
Oh yeah.
And I put up shit making fun of myself.
Yeah.
Because I like to make I like to like my online persona, or like how I like people to perceive me.
Yeah.
Is like kind of a caricature.
And that's a part of it. Like if you're being yourself,
right?
Like I obviously, I don't know anybody watching at home, anybody that knows me, I do have a mullet. It is on purpose, and it's not just for fashion, guys. It's because I like it.
And I've been shaping my beard like fucking Captain Morgan.
Yeah, you do have a very Captain Morgan. Is that why?
No, not at all why. But
October, you know what's going to happen. Pop on a pirate hat. There you go. There's your Halloween costume.
My mom's a seamstress, and I definitely have like a way overly done pirate costume.
You already have one at the ready.
Already.
At the ready. so, but I think that's part of it, is being unabashedly yourself, and you have that aspect. So you went into the roast battle, whether you believe it or not, more prepared. As far as to like, you were almost doing it as like defending yourself.
Yeah, no, actually, afterwards I was like, that felt like I was fighting.
It was good. Like you did well. Like, so there's
like
it's not that there's
like, especially like Shannon's round.
Well, also I will say this. Yeah, that was great. I will say this. That was attempted in the first time we did the roast battle. People thought, I got this. Watch this. And they go, your shoes suck.
I did hear.
And I was like, ow. Anyway, you know what I mean? So
my thought process was, I was like, undeniably, Andrew's gonna kick my ass. If he doesn't, I was like,
fucked.
If not, I was like, well, fuck it. Like, I'll prepare for Dom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll prepare for Dom when I get there, because I thought, I was like, Dom won the last round. Like, he's like kind of like, everybody fucking was just like, he was great.
No.
On the first round.
I like that's I wanted to say that too. Like I wanted to say that to everybody. The first time we did the roast battle, he won, but it was like being like the the fastest.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not. I don't want to like take it away from him. He still won.
Fucking
like he still won. But like that was the thing. I was just like, okay, well, like because everybody was like, it was crazy because Tom like really did well, and I was just like, well, that doesn't surprise me. He works blue collar. Like he spends every day busting everybody's balls.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. There's a matter of
like, Dom has called me son or kid, and I'm just like, dude, you're 23.
Yeah, you're a young man.
Like
sir.
we went to school at the same time, and now you're a plumber.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we went to the same school,
And I'm still, you know,
it's like I'm a mechanical engineer in the
Okay,
same
pal.
amount of time.
I think with him, I think with that aspect of going in with that.
I don't want to shit on Dom.
No. I don't mean that either. I'm saying what I was saying was like, it was a matter of, in that aspect, the winner of that roast battle was like, okay, now we got an idea of what we're looking at. Let's go into the next round. And I'm not saying that he couldn't have done that, but there's the one, like, to have, I think what would be a perfect roast battle would be people writing for each other.
Sure.
So like that was my biggest takeaway from that last one, was it was a lot improved, like a lot more improved.
Oh yeah.
And I think if people prepare, and my biggest argument was always like, you guys see each other every fucking week. How do you not have something chambered? Like, I hate a lot of you. A little bit.
And this
you know
is,
what I mean?
and that's a fucking thing.
A little bit.
Like I saw the fucking bracket and I was like, oh, I don't really know.
Right.
Like
I
was like, oh, I'm going into this one kind of blind.
Right.
And then like found out later, fucking, like I saw like Fez.
And
I was like,
oh, I know.
I was like, Fez comes up to the mics.
Yeah.
He's a Baltimore guy. Like, I don't
well,
know,
he
knows
would every
everybody.
once in a while. Yeah, he comes up to the mics, and there's a couple like Philly, like Jeff,
Jeff
was coming from Philly, and a couple other people. So like there's aspects to that. There's people, like, it's not just you have to be a local person around here.
No.
You have to do that, but like I would assume at this point, some of these people have been working with each other at some, or cross paths at another mic, or done shows with each other on this.
Yeah.
Like, get to know each other. It's supposed to be a community. And then when one of you get knocked out, if you had more jokes for other people,
right,
somebody that has great delivery like you
hand them off,
help them out, help the show out, because it really ultimately doesn't matter.
And honestly, at that point, like, here's the thing: a lot of people tried to do that.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah,
oh.
like
they came up to you.
Yeah,
Ron.
No,
Ron usually overly prepares.
Oh, Ron. Yeah, Ron did have a couple jokes for Shannon, and I didn't want to. It wasn't that I didn't want to take Ron's joke.
Yeah,
I was just like, I don't know if I can deliver it right, and also like, I was trying to write jokes in the moment.
Yeah, and you're like, please, just.
So I literally looked at Ron and was like, Ron, I'll take a look at him in a minute.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if I can remember.
It also can be
I don't know if I can remember what you wrote.
It also can be a point of pride too. Like, a lot of people will remember what's his face. That's so funny to say after remember Norm Macdonald. His, when he was like, didn't actually roast somebody. There's stilted delivery. There's many ways you can get a laugh off of a joke, even if it's not the best joke in the world. We go back to the hacky standard.
Yeah, going into Shannon. The round against Shannon,
it could be a lot of.
I was just like, I just want to make people laugh at this point.
Yeah, I just have to. That's all it is. It's not necessarily even just bringing you down.
I mean,
it's like,
and that was actually another thing. Is like, I didn't like necessarily wasn't like excited about the roast aspect of it.
Yeah,
as much as like, let's just make it entertaining.
Yeah, let's be funny. Let's just kind of and that was the aspect of the bonus battle that Manny and I did.
Right.
Manny and I do that because we're like, well, we want the show to be great. And if we just run through it,
right,
we're going to get to a point where people aren't, like, they don't have time. Like, you're going to get off stage and go, okay, get back on stage. You have to go.
The next roast battle should be two of you dress up like characters and roast each other as those characters.
As like historical characters?
Whatever.
Or like, oh, just anybody. That'd be cool.
George Washington versus.
That would be actually really funny.
The Cheerios honeybee.
That's an exercise. That's an exercise, like, just dress up. Yeah. I think it is in October. Yeah. Wait, is it in October?
Yeah, fuck it.
If it's in October, yeah, for sure we should dress up.
Just do a Halloween.
Count Chocula versus Boo Berry.
or Sugar Smacks.
Yeah, well, I might get a little. Can't get enough of that Sugar Smacks. That's too much. I think there's. That was a writing exercise that Kirk brought up early on, like a couple of years ago. And he always brings up these really interesting. I always considered myself more. I didn't consider myself as much of a writer because of my illiteracy. But I found out later on in life, you don't necessarily have to be literate to be able to
I'm-
think of funny premises and
I'm
things.
dyslexic.
I
You
think
know-
I am too. I
you know
think that's
how
one of the things
fucking-
that I'm.
You know how crazy my notes are?
You want to know how? Yeah. Do you want to compare?
I don't have my notebook with me.
Look at this. This is my production notebook for the year. This is how it looks. I'll show you.
Yeah, that's about the same.
Manic.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mine was,
But still structured. I get it.
yeah. As long as you get it.
Right.
The problem with like me writing early on, my like biggest problem was I would write a joke down verbatim, and because I would get distracted in the moment trying to think of more stuff, I
Yep.
would skip a whole section of the joke.
And then you forget, and you're like, "Why didn't they laugh when I said that?" But
No, not even that.
Oh.
Like I would go back to read and go, oh, I missed all the filler words. Like
Sarah
there is or
Sarah says a
The-
costume roast battle sounds like a great idea, great
Yeah.
show. So yeah,
absolutely.
I think that at least mascots something.
I mean, I'm always a fan of the set switch.
Yeah, I like that.
I like doing the set switch. We did the set switch at Lizard Lounge.
Is that where somebody writes it for you? Writes down.
No,
the-
you do somebody else's set on Halloween.
See, that's hard. That's hard though because that makes me feel bad. Pay attention to a lot of people.
Oh, my favorite was that the year that we did at Lizard Lounge.
Yeah.
Joey Tepedino got me. Joey's never listened to my
Yeah,
set
like
ever. So and hilariously enough, we had never really thought about it. Me and Joey, from like a cartoon character's perspective, look exactly the same.
pretty similar. If it's
Yeah.
a design a character, there's not going to be enough features on either
My
one of you
beard
that's
is
gonna,
longer,
a little bit longer,
a
Yeah,
little
that's-
longer.
but basically the same color.
But we were both doing comedy in hoodies or flannels,
Okay,
wearing beanies.
Yeah.
In
and they're like, "Who are
exactly,
you?"
and like he just went up and was just like he just said key words to my jokes.
Yeah, he's
Like-
paying attention. That means he's paying attention, right?
kind of.
He's like,
But he was like,
anyway, so I'm a mechanic, I think.
no. But like he would just sit there and like he would say like one word of a premise or like one word of a tagline in one of my jokes and just go, ugh, ugh. That's just like,
But that's almost like a roast battle,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like you're mocking the other person in a way.
but then I got Ryan Meehan, who was the host.
That's hard to do that.
And Ryan, this was after fucking Ryan got into his car accident, was gone for 6 months. And the only thing I remember was I'm a shit in there, and then looked online and found him doing the pizza set, which is him just doing a character called Pizza.
Yeah, and they love it.
So I did that, and I just remember it killed. And I just like remember looking at Ryan mid set.
And he was looking at you confused.
No, and he was laughing,
Oh,
and then
okay.
I just like I was just like everybody's laughing, and I just pulled the mic away just enough for him to hear. I was like, how the fuck does this work? Like,
What is this?
yes.
I
Because literally it was a gross pizza joke and then tagline pizza bang bang.
Yeah.
That's it.
that's been around for a long time.
It has?
It's a staple,
Is it?
I guess.
I knew it was a staple of the lounge. I didn't know if it was a
It makes-
traveling performance.
No. It's there. It's just there. That's what I was saying. It's only happened there, as far as I know.
Okay.
And it makes me want to staple my eyes.
It's
We're like,
fucking off.
shut, and then put one right in the temple. You know what I mean?
But it works.
That's the problem.
It's one of those things that works.
That gets one of those faces for me. That's like, man, I thought of a really clever way to say how this my dad died, and then didn't work. But it's pizza bang bang.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that
But
it's.
then there's also like the people who
I think
write-
it's just the energy. I think
Yeah.
it's this mentality, and it's my theory of why I feel like the Kardashians have gotten to. Why do I always say their name so weird? Kardashians.
You're saying, right?
I said Kardashians. Like I say it like a Wisconsinite.
Oh.
But the Kardashians, I feel like that's how they rose them, Donald Trump, anybody to prominence has been the fact that like it's so bad it's good aspect, or it's I like it because it's bad kind of thing, or whatever it may be. I think that there's it's not that people truly think it's hilarious. It's just like they like being part of the thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's how like stuff like that would work, where if he goes to another place, it's the fact that it's so bad, like it's so cheesy but he's playing it like he's so excited to be doing it, and he thinks it's so awesome.
So
So it's really the act out, and really is.
yeah, I mean,
it does
I
work
like I
in
like
that sense.
yeah. There are levels to it.
Like
There are
so,
layers.
but there's me sitting there going like, "Hey guys, I know who you are. It's
Yeah,
not like
if
this would be funny if we all went to another
if-
place and you did this to them and they were silent. We're back there going, ha, ha, ha.
right, it's
That's the joke.
avant-garde at
Is
that point.
it's like making yes, it's like making people feel like they're not getting it
Yeah,
or they're not smart enough. It's fun,
Yeah.
in that sense. But if we're all just here, it's not fun because it's fun for you to do it. That's how it worked for you. But
Yeah.
then it's like it's so nuanced that you're like, I'm really so pissed off of how much I've thought about this. And that's where the joke is.
Yeah,
So it's ultimately
I was-
respectable, but
I remember
hateable.
being upset about it because I was in your kind of
Yeah.
shoots where I was just like,
I need to stop justifying this and just go, yeah, it's just because.
Yeah, but it was like I had spent so much time trying to write a good joke, and like again, this was my first year or two.
I thought for sure you were going to say rodeo. I thought for sure you were about to say
It was
rodeo,
my
and I was going to
first
go, Kyle,
rodeo.
please leave. I mean, this wasn't my first rodeo, so I was there. I
No,
thought you were going
but-
to say it seriously.
No, it was like within my first year or two.
Yeah.
Ended up doing this, and then like I just remember sitting there going like I have tried so hard to write like a well
Structured,
well structured,
well
written,
thought out,
like I'm trying
personalized.
I'm trying to perfect this.
Yeah. At the end of my sets now, Kyle, and
Yeah.
this is how I've grown as a comedian. This is literally it. At the end of my sets, I go, what do they know about me?
Oh,
Legitimately. I go
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, so, because I wanted to try to introduce myself in so many different ways that there's going to be a way that people will remember me. Whether, for the longest time that's the shrimp guy.
Yeah.
Or that's the blah 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 guy, the Kennedy head guy, or the blah
I
blah.
mean, my favorite bit that you did was fucking fighting animals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that a lot. Actually, every time I do a show with Gary
He wants
Limoges,
to-
he always goes, "Hey, yeah, give him a little pat versus animal." I'm like, dude, I have jokes. Sorry, kitty. You know what I mean? Like, but I do get it. Like, it's just like that. I ultimately like is a compliment because people are saying, I like this thing that you
Yeah.
do, or I like this thing that you do.
I get it though. Like you say a joke long enough that you start to hate it.
Yeah, you start going like,
Yeah.
well, not even that. Like with Pat vs. Animal, I've kind of gotten like, it's almost just like not that I forgot how to do it,
I
but
feel
it's
like
almost
it's a fun premise.
it's
though.
just fun. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those things that I always have it, but it's
Yeah.
like that's kind of like that is ultimately how I want to do comedy, stand up or whatever. But I still like having structured jokes
Sure,
and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So it's almost like
It's like a good like middle ground. Like people are starting to get restless. Like let's engage everybody.
yeah.
again.
All right, we're gonna have to. And also, if I'm going up early enough, I don't want to talk to get everyone in the crowd talking and
Sure.
have them set
Yeah.
that basis. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it's an open mic or whatever, yeah.
Sure.
But I know what like it comes down to. I don't expect anybody to know jokes that I do or expect jokes that I do. I just want at the end of it, as long as they remember something. Oh, that guy who said he would fight an animal or any animal. That literally, and that's what I like about it. So
Yeah.
like,
And that was the thing that like kind of got me with like I remember like because I didn't realize that everybody wasn't listening to everybody else
yeah.
at first.
And you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna
because
go reference.
because I was listening to
Yep.
everybody.
Yeah.
So
You're engaged. You
Yeah.
were a good audience member.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was the thing is I wanted to do comedy because I really enjoy comedy.
Exactly.
And I wanted to see how everybody else was doing it.
That's ultimately how you should get into most. I think at first, whether it be hobbies or professional or professions or anything like that.
and that's the thing how like with skateboarding that's how you do it.
Yeah.
You
You're
go
like,
to a skate.
that's cool. I want to try
Yeah,
it.
you go to a skate park, you see some shit, and you're
Yeah.
like,
That looks cool.
let me talk to that guy and see if I can figure out how to do it.
And that's how honestly most communities are. Like
Yeah.
most, if you are interested in what they're doing,
The community will help.
people are like, yeah, I got an old board you can have, or I got
Right.
this, or
But like I remember like talking I remember the one night I went to the zone and I don't know if you get in these fucking things where you're like you haven't written anything in a while
yeah,
and you're like fuck I don't know what jokes to do and like you kind of don't want to do any of them
yes.
but
Yeah.
I want this thing like I want to go up
I'm
and
here.
practice.
I'm not gonna wait. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste my time here. What
Right.
can I do? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I know
So-
exactly what you're talking
so I
about.
remember like I remember like going up to Youngblood I was like what joke should I do and he was just like hit him with a gritty joke and I haven't done my gritty joke in like 2 years. I'm
Yeah.
like was like, I don't think it's relevant anymore, man. Like he's just like, fuck it, it's gritty.
Yeah, I like
people
gritty.
like it. I was like, all right.
At least you know
And
what that
then I-
means is
I-
that you have one person that's going to be like, I'll be engaged. I don't
Sure.
give a fuck.
And like I did it. I can probably still do the gritty joke in Harrisburg.
What is so? If you don't mind, I'm not.
It's just like
Is it just your?
it's just my take on gritty, how
Okay.
much like I like gritty, and like I just
And
make
you give-
observations.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
And like the punchline is like, what other like two other options of like what could be a very Philadelphia like mascot,
yeah.
and that's it.
And then you have that.
that's
like-
that's like the tag that ends it, and I get out of it. And I stopped doing it because I did it in Philly 6 months after I wrote it, which was 6 months after like gritty was a thing.
Yeah.
And like a crowd could not care less. And I was just like, oh, okay. This isn't relevant.
It's
anymore.
one crowd's perspective, and you're
Right.
like, that's just how that joke is now.
Right.
And you're like, no, that's not. That's not.
Right.
People like it.
Right. And like I was just kind of like, oh, like it doesn't work in Philly, but like everybody in Harrisburg still likes this joke for some reason. I don't know why.
I think because there could be an aspect of like, you know, how the same way people joke about like, oh, you can't do subway jokes in the fuck, you know, like people joke, oh, you're a city guy, don't do your city jokes here in the country. Blah, blah. It's not even just that. It's just literally, I think there is just not even city. It's just that crowd was just one on board that night.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's the strangest thing. One of the early, speaking of rules of comedy and all these things over the years that I've learned, at least from my personal takeaway, was everybody always said, oh, you can't never blame the audience. It's like, well, you haven't performed for certain audiences. Have you been to Alabama, sir?
Sure.
There are good and bad crowds.
I do still.
You should still be universal. I still strive to win over every crowd.
Sure.
But at the end of it, you do have to make an assessment. And I feel like I've done pretty well over the years of being honest with myself.
Sure.
Of saying like, yeah, I fucked up there. Yeah. That was I didn't give it. I fucked up. I missed this part, or I did this.
I think for me,
I wasn't committing.
For me to ever feel comfortable on stage, I have to have the expectation of just like bombing.
So is that how you go into it? Like you're like, this is going to be the worst set of my life?
Yes.
Every time.
Every single time.
Really? Do you think that's helping you?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it is.
Yeah,
I don't mean to sound that. That sounded really condescending how I said that. I meant to say,
yes.
Do you think that's helping you?
No, you said it right the first time.
I meant it the other way, but I didn't mean to say it that way.
No, I think it does help.
You're like, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Hey.
No, I mean like right before shit in the hat, or not shit in the hat. Actually,
the roast.
The roast.
Yeah.
I was like, this is I'm going to do terribly. Like
it worked. Okay, you're right. Hey, it worked for you.
And
you made it to the semifinal, right?
Yeah. And as soon as I accept it, I'm fine.
Really?
Yeah. I don't care. Because the expectation is I'm going to bomb. That's cool. I'm okay with bombing now.
No matter. So
let's go.
Do you think the longer your sets go, the less that's going to work for you? Because I've done like 30 or 45 minute sets before where it's like, if I went into it thinking I'm going to go up there and suck for 45 minutes, like I don't know if that would help me.
Oh, I don't know about that point.
But actually,
I would have to have a.
There's got to be a time limit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to suck for 25 minutes, but the last 5 minutes are going to be like, whoa. This guy's great. Wait, was he doing that thing about gritty? Do gritty again.
If I just do my whole set again.
Yeah, just like,
no, actually.
You might have to, depending on what show you do.
Kyle Neff did that the other day.
He did his whole set again?
No, so he did a joke. And then he started his set off with the joke, did the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then it segued into another joke. And then that joke, following that joke, segued into the first joke he told. And he told the whole joke again. And I was like, and it was funny because like I remember it didn't get as much of a fucking like response the second time around, but I was just like, that's fucking genius.
But how fun is it? For him?
That's genius because the people who reacted probably weren't paying attention.
That's what I'm saying. It's like is either like then I get to discover after that set how many people weren't paying attention to the first time I told the joke and how many people were.
Right.
But how much enjoy that is actually, dude. That is actually a brilliant structure.
Also
because
that eats up time.
Yeah, even better. You know what I'm saying?
That eats up time, and like if he gets, and he's so like
That's my favorite thing about Pat vs Animal, because it's like I should do this more. Like there's still things that I need to learn with it,
Sure.
but there's a discipline where give yourself some time to think, or pick one that you already have a joke for.
Sure, yeah.
You know, if you have some kind of ideas about a certain thing, I've been making the mistake of actually challenging myself
to
to try.
going up and
So
just
when I
trying
do
to
it at
figure out
Mike's,
right there.
yeah, when I do it at Mike's, I go, "What's the first one you heard?" Go
Sure.
with that, and it's like it hasn't gone well, because like the last one was somebody said aardvark or some weird thing where I was like, at first I didn't hear what he said, so I repeated it, and he's like, "Yeah, aardvark," and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And I started to talk to him and say, "What is it?" But at that exact time, the waitress came over and started talking to him about his order. So I was
So
like,
you just
does anybody know what the fuck an aardvark is? Is that like an anteater? And I was just like, fuck. And I was like, I wasn't prepared. Like, so I've still tried to challenge myself with it, but there's still some structure to it.
But
But
what you're saying
nothing
is
like that.
But what you're saying is you have to like you're gonna have to start reading biology books to get all
Well,
the
I have to
animals.
have I have a lot of opinions on a lot of animals, just not a fucking aardvark. I don't know what the fuck. And that's the problem too, is people, instead of being like, oh, do the one about like
Yeah.
it's almost like I kind of feel like sometimes, at least at a show, it would be really cool if one of my friends was like, I remember that time he told that funny story about killing a baby elephant. I'm going to say baby elephant.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, but instead they're just like, crocodile. It's like, I already did alligator. Can you say alligator? Like, you know what I mean? Like one of those things where it's the challenge.
Or if somebody says alligator and then somebody says crocodile,
You're like,
you
did I hear crocodile?
you just automatically negate the fact that you said the alligator one.
Right.
Restart and say the same thing.
Perfect structure.
Perfect.
I guess that's the thing is
This joke has no flaws.
this is a continuous loop.
This is the perfect bit.
I saw this perfect loop once on Instagram. It was a reel of a guy making a double cheeseburger, and how it was structured was it looked like he was making endless double cheeseburgers, and I was like, wow, that's perfect. I wish I could write a joke like that.
I mean, Abby Good has a joke as having a dark sense of humor is a sign of early onset Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Wait, what? Wait, what is the sign of that?
Having a dark sense of humor.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if it's really. That's what she says in the joke.
I don't like that.
So she says that.
That sounds like a Christian joke.
I mean, but she says that, and then she repeats it, and then she tells this super fucked up like dead baby joke, and then says it again.
Yeah.
And she could just continue
doing that. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's also like fucking Joey's. I feel bad because I'm referencing jokes that probably nobody's fucking heard. But Joey's,
it doesn't matter. Well, they know him.
Oh, okay. Like Joey Tapadino's OCD joke. The lock the door, check the door.
Yeah.
Check the door. Like that's like
it's
like such a hard fucking joke.
But it's also in a way like there is.
It's hard, but
it's a commitment.
But I also understand how he does it because he wrote a joke the same way you write a song.
Yeah. He's got a chorus. He's got his bridge. He's got a verse, next verse,
and then
next verse.
He just keeps adding things because it's like the fucking.
Sarah's commenting here. She says, "My take is when you first write a joke / set that's ready for the stage. I think you should take it for a walk."
Oh.
Trying many different mics before you declare a joke will or won't work. Thoughts? Yeah, I think that's about right. I would say
I think that's a good idea.
That's what she wrote was thoughts. I didn't say that. Thoughts. She said that. I mean, it sounded like I was like, thoughts, Kyle? Kyle, thoughts? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. I don't do that.
I honestly, if it works once, I go, yeah, that's pretty good. I'll work on it later.
I think my problem is I've just gotten lazy.
Yeah,
and like hosting a mic.
See, my thing is I switched from hosting and I was like, I don't want to host anymore. That's the only time it ever feels like work. Was when, like, anytime I'm doing stand-up comedy. Otherwise, any other time, it doesn't mean that it's not work or I don't work at it.
I'm the worst host.
Why? What is it about?
I don't mind hosting open mics. I like hosting open mics because like the only responsibility you have is to keep it going forward.
Yeah, keep it going.
Yeah.
So do you notice a lot of people like coming by?
And like at our mic, I do second half.
Yeah.
So I get
deep.
Yeah. So I get like I get to pick like my first couple.
Yeah.
and I figure out where I get to put them. Like I can like switch it around if I want, or like I normally just go with what either Audrey or Kyle wrote.
Yeah.
But Kyle Ziegler, not myself. That'd be weird.
Yeah, not him. He's not referring to himself.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, the structure of like, so no matter what, it's still going to be like, I understand like taking it to different mics and trying it out in different crowds and stuff, but when it's like when you're, especially when you host, a lot of times, do you ever judge, even though you say you're not great at hosting the open mic or whatever, do you still go to other mics and go like, I can do a better job than this?
No,
really?
No, because I truly believe.
Do you ever try to use your sway as a host at other mics?
No.
Really? You should.
I haven't really gone to other mics.
That is the only.
That's a problem.
My opinion, my personal opinion, aside from just getting better at hosting,
hosting
open mics, the only benefit from hosting an open mic is the fact that
leverage.
You can is leverage at other open mics. Really, that's really what it feels like. And I don't even mean that as like that's kind of that is I feel like an unwritten rule, but that's just life.
Sure.
You help me, I help you. You scratch my back, I scratch your back.
I just don't really. I don't know. I think with the hosting, as much as I enjoy, like honestly, my favorite fucking nights of hosting at Phantom Power is when it's fallen apart.
Yeah, because there's no expectations at that point.
Yeah, by the time that it has fallen apart first half,
you're like, it's over.
I was like, sick.
Yeah, I love steering into that. Like when I
mean, this is gonna be fun because like, and especially when there's a crowd.
Yeah.
Because like they're like,
you're like, why are you still here, you losers?
And I'm just
okay. Here we go.
And then like you get to have like your first couple jokes. You get to feel it out. You like tell your jokes. They don't do that great, and then you get to have a conversation.
Yeah. Then you're just like, fuck it.
Yeah, and like
nothing matters here.
Yeah, like I love watching like Jackie.
Yeah,
Jackie Van Hand is like the best person at like she writes funny jokes.
Mm-hmm.
But like she kills on her responses.
Yeah.
Like her like off the cuff, just like
I say that all the time with Manny. Manny's like one of those things where like he may write jokes. He works on his jokes. He does that, all that stuff. But like a lot of the times where I get like some of the like the biggest laughs watching his set is him, either whether it's in the middle of a joke or if it's just when a joke doesn't work or anything, is his crowd interactions or his crowd work. Any of that stuff is always awesome. I haven't seen Jackie do it as much.
So Manny does the crowd interactions, but Jackie literally just has self commentary.
Like
she's commenting on her own stuff.
Oh, okay. So it's almost like a play by play.
Like she is her own heckler.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Almost like Jim Gaffigan. That's hilarious. Yeah.
Oh yeah, very much like Jim Gaffigan.
Okay, yeah.
But it's like her and Abby do kind of the same, like a similar thing.
That wasn't a good one. I'll go. Yeah, like doing like that, like kind of say like, oh well, on to the next.
Or Jackie will she'll curse and she'll be like, oh my god, Jackie cursed, and like continue with the joke.
Yeah, see, yeah, that's the kind of thing where it is. It's almost like you're saying that earlier about a lot of people are probably I'm referencing a lot of jokes that maybe people don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter though. Like you're just referencing a joke that they know.
Sure.
It's her referencing something that like maybe she's just introducing herself to this crowd at some point. Like, does she do that in front of every crowd or just at the open mics?
She's done it. I've seen her do it during shows.
Because how funny is that to say like, oh my god, Jackie, like to you're playing their I'm sorry, I'm going too in depth on that, but I do really appreciate the fact that like there's something like a running commentary. I just comment in the sense that like where I go at the end of if a joke doesn't work, I just go, all right.
She has a joke about like
I wish I was more clever like that is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I like she's and I think she thinks a lot of like her tags like right on the spot sometimes. Like especially at the open mics. I think she like when she's like figuring it out, she like hits a lot of really good marks sometimes. Because she has one joke about like I think it's like it's like the guys saying periods aren't as bad as getting kicked in the balls. Like it's a premise that's been like said
it's
before.
One of those things that you're like, okay, we've heard this before. What's your take?
Her take, and it's like pretty like it's a pretty standard take, but like the comparisons she makes, are like the one she did the one time and then skipped it a bunch of times. And like I remember like I was like, hey, remember when you said. Yeah, like because she was like, "Oh yeah, like getting kicked in the balls is good. Like, do you do this? Do you like turn around and go like, hey, Brad, did I get kicked in the nuts? Like, can you check me? Like,
Yeah.
like the one she said, she was like, do you get depressed 3 days before you get kicked in the balls? And I was like, that's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like,
That stuff where it's like that well of you have so many different options for jokes that you're
Right.
just like, this is great.
yeah. And like, so I remember at one point I was like, you should bring that back because that like that crushed the first time you did it, and then like you didn't do it afterwards.
That's my biggest so that's my biggest problem with like I don't do what Sarah's talking about as much. I wish I did have that not ability, because I have the ability. It's just laziness, like you said. But the thought of like, all right, this went really well. That's the thing. It's that I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell it the exact same way I did last time. And if it doesn't hit exactly the same way, I go, well, then that doesn't work. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Or I just go, I try it one more time, a different way, and it just. But if it works the first time, I'm like, cool. But then having to like structure a lot of the stuff afterwards is it kind of gets me to the point where I probably would lose confidence in a lot of stuff too if people didn't say, dude, that was really funny. Keep doing that thing that you did.
Do you write your jokes out like completely once?
I actually now I've gotten the most recent process that I do is just like I write like the line or a joke,
the premise
thought I well like the basic premise,
like the setup,
the kind of framework-ish or whatever, and then I have to either think, does this get added to something I already have, or is this a new thing? And I'll try to the wording and stuff like that, and I'll just like put it in a note and then try it. Sorry. Oh yeah. Well, this was a case where like the police, the Uvalde police standing around. I just like that premise, right? So I go like, how much? I don't like to write jokes about a certain thing, but it's almost like a practice in the sense that like some jokes where I'm like, okay, can I add this to something, and can I take a current event that everybody knows and actually work on it? So I guess that's the point. So like Gritty, right? You wrote Gritty when Gritty was happening, when it was like happening. And then afterwards, after Gritty happened,
I just haven't done anything topical.
You have to figure out like,
or try not.
That's the way it changes. Is like you make these jokes and these comparisons at the time when somebody says that, and it works, and then you try it the same way a week or two later, and people are like, "That didn't just happen. That was like 3 weeks ago."
Right.
And that's where you lose them immediately.
Yeah.
So it's not just about structuring it. So the Uvalde police standing around.
Sure.
Thought of what I think is a great joke for that. But I'm like, I'm not going to be able to tell that 3 months from now.
Right.
So if I'm going to, or because how we are now, is so now the exercise isn't how do I structure this joke to where it's the funniest. It's how do I structure this joke to where I can tell it long enough till I can get it funny.
Sure.
To use it.
That's why I try to steer.
So I added that to my tragedy jokes.
Right. I try to stay away from like the topical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I do like to do the fucking like holiday ones.
Yeah.
Because you get like at least one use out.
You get something, and then you can around that time you can go like back, and you also get longer to like. I got some great Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer material.
I had
that. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait. These are great jokes.
I can't remember exactly what I said. I know I wrote it down somewhere in a notebook, but I had this joke about basically saying that like St. Patrick, like the reason he's a saint is because he made all the snakes disappear because he like went on the hill and fasted. But what if we just found out that he just ate all the snakes?
Like, he's like, uh-oh, can't fit you up here.
He just ate all of them.
Yeah.
So I remember like telling it, and I like got a good response. I was like, okay, well, I'll just like check that.
Yeah, I'll just save that for next year. You know what I mean?
That's going to be next year's St. Patrick's Day.
Even better, especially if you get it like perfect, or if you can like tape it somehow, film it or something, and that's even better because like now it's like just repost that and just go like, there you go. I'm still funny, guys. Don't forget.
No, I try to write stuff in like broad, like
about women.
Yeah, I write so much about broads.
God. Nice.
No, like broad.
They're important. They can do stuff now. I found out.
Yeah.
Yep. Anything.
You know, they're apparently women now. They're people,
guys. They're people.
They're people.
Okay. I don't know what you've heard, but they're fucking people, guys.
Okay.
I'm not joking. I did have to clarify, by the way. I am growing. I'm becoming a better person. I did have to figure out that apparently, even though Juneteenth is a holiday now, we're still not supposed to do anything. You don't, because I was like, do I wish happy or do I? Nope. Yep, I found that out.
I did.
But you don't know until you ask.
I do know the proper thing to do,
Yeah,
and it is do something anti-racist.
anti-racist. Shit.
Which I've only really come to find out is like just go find a Confederate flag and cut it down and give it to a black person.
Yeah,
and then you guys can burn it together.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't say happy anymore. I just go, hey, sorry. Sorry.
Hey, what's up here?
Sorry.
So I stole this from a honky.
Yeah. Sorry, there you go. Sorry. So sorry. But no, I'm learning that like even the further like ignorance is no excuse kind of thing.
Yeah.
I found that out when I was a kid. I remember how depressed I was when I went into the office of my elementary school in like 5th grade. And there was a poster on the wall that said, a cop that says, ignorance of the law is no excuse. And I was just like, I legitimately went, fuck. That was going to be my, like, I learned from an early age, you can't just say I didn't know I couldn't do that. I just want everybody to know that I've been down. I've been, at least my mentality has been down here for like a long time. I felt like I was shit since elementary school.
I mean, sure. But I mean,
but now learning like, okay,
technically ignorant when it comes to laws.
Well, my biggest,
when it comes to certain laws.
So my biggest thing was like, I used to joke about with
traffic laws.
Yeah. Traffic and law. Yeah. Traffic
I'm sorry,
laws.
officer. Yeah. I didn't know I can do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Even that apparently doesn't work anymore either. Oh, there's Chloe.
Oh, there's another cat.
So, now we have 3. Wow. Look at this. Total harmony.
That is the caddick.
But like even early on, like when I was just gonna say fuck. Oh no! So ignorance of the law is no excuse. I used to think that women I used to always fucking rail on women, make fun of women all the time when they would go, it has pockets, when they have clothes that have pockets, and I would joke about it. And then finally, like legitimately, this is all that. It's not that men, in some cases, let's say this, it's not that men or ignorant people are doing it at you.
Sure.
It's legitimately, ignorance isn't always a hate speech. You know what I mean? Ignorance a lot of times is just ignorance.
Sure.
I would make fun of women all the time for
the pockets
being
thing.
Excited about pockets and going, hey, dummy, just buy clothes with pockets.
Yeah, we can't do
What
that.
are you doing? And she's like, you know that women's clothes aren't designed with pockets, right? And I was like, why did you keep buying them?
Because that's the option.
Because that's the only option.
The
I was
option.
like, oh. And I was just like, okay, so you guys just have been living without pockets for how long? And I'm just like, okay, so I don't know if that's not necessarily the scourge you guys are talking about, but it helped me understand more of what I didn't understand before.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
I'm growing, but it has to be in my own way of like going like,
I was always about the pockets thing because
Right.
I didn't really think of it from that aspect, but
Dude,
I love the manic energy of it, and I'm just like, all right,
yeah,
you're psyched.
Yeah, I got one here.
I'm hyped right for you.
Put my headphone in it. I've had pockets the whole time. You guys have breasts. How do we get the breast pockets? That's what I don't understand. Because of lack of breast?
The bras.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I go, wait a minute, what is that? But a pocket. And I would always make fun of people for putting shit in their titty meat, like up here, because I'm like, but you don't have pockets. Right. It makes total sense. I get it now. I'm learning. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't fully understand. Like, I don't like give people shit for it, but like,
it's cool to. It feels okay to be like, I don't, to correct somebody. Is that what you're gonna say? Or
not to correct somebody, but I mean like if we're gonna talk about like the downfall of women, it's like beauty standards.
Yeah,
like I couldn't wear something that like that didn't have like a utilitarian
wasn't functional, right? Yeah, if there wasn't any. If I had to carry, like the fact that you have to carry a purse because of a fashion difference, or just because of somebody just won't put in because we want to see more of your crotch or your butt or something like that.
Like that's fucking like that's crazy, but like also like men wear sandals, and that's equally as crazy. But that's only function.
Yeah,
that is literally just like I need a second.
I need something on the bottom of my foot.
I need something on the bottom of my foot.
That's it.
and I would have glued something there.
Well,
but that's not okay.
So my thought of like of when I think about like technically in a lot of cases, if I and this goes back to nihilism where we were talking about, I became a peaceful nihilist in the sense that I know that ultimately none of anything we do matters.
Sure.
Really, ultimately, that's and I think truly, I mean, matters in the long term.
No, yeah,
individually.
no, I totally understand where you're getting from. Where it's like not one person can affect the whole universe.
Like if you make one of the biggest mistakes you can make personally,
you affect like your inner circle.
Yeah, your inner circle. And that's what I'm saying is ultimately in the scale of humanity.
Yeah.
Even if you hurt thousands of people, still it's like a 0.1% of how many and I'm not saying life is this is what I'm saying is I think life is equal.
Sure.
A life is a life is a life is a life.
Yeah.
So ultimately there's a lot more life lost than you realize, and I don't think people notice like ultimately. So that's why would you waste energy in saying there's a superior race, there's a superior sex, there's a superior way?
Oh, I don't understand like why people would.
It's legitimately it's a silly concept to me.
That's a silly concept, and also the fucking like I'm doing this so when I die, I don't go to hell, or I get to go to heaven.
Right.
Like, fuck that.
No, like, I'm about the here and now.
Exactly. Like no. I'm going to like, and this goes for like anybody. Like, if you, as long as you're not hurting anybody.
Right.
Like earlier how we were saying like we have friends that party.
Mm-hmm.
I have a buddy of mine. I'm not going to name his name.
You don't have to.
I'm not going to name his name. But I remember we were all sitting down talking, and somebody had mentioned they were just like, dude, you fucking sprinkled Coke in your weed. And he was like, yeah, what's the problem? It's like, and somebody just goes, dude, that's so close to smoking crack.
Yeah. It's almost like
it's so close to smoking crack.
Also counterproductive, right?
And then our other buddy fucking hears that and chimes in, and he's just like, it's like, dude, I fucking love crack. And we're just like, all right.
Cool,
he's like,
man.
He's like, and he just goes, none of you should do it. I don't do it anymore. I haven't figured out the occasion that it's appropriate
to break out the crack.
It's like, but fuck, I love crack. And we were just kind of like,
thank you for your honesty.
All right, dude. Yeah. That's fuck. All right. And then like, I don't know. There's just.
I remember. So this is where I was at in Florida.
Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, as long as you're not hurting anybody.
Yeah, as long as you're not hurting anybody. Yeah. That's what we were talking about ultimately with going from.
Now, granted, I do feel like if you are going to do things, like yes, not hurting anybody, like that's the main goal. But I feel like maybe not.
It's really the intention.
Not even that, but like. It's not even like the intention part. It's like the optics. Sometimes I feel like people like kind of chuck out the window.
Yeah.
So I was at this thing called the Creep Out.
Uh-huh.
It's a van club rally. Like it's like an old 70s like shag and wagon club.
Like a car show, but for vans, not just.
So think motorcycle rally for van enthusiasts.
Ish.
Yeah,
I had to stink.
But you know,
like smell bad.
Yeah.
It's a lot of vans.
So it was a bunch of like old style, like old like box vans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, done
Astro vans, Safaris, not Astros, but what's the other one?
G20s,
GMCs,
Ecoline vans,
yeah,
even like the old like handyman, like 60s vans.
Okay,
like vintage stuff,
panel vans and shit like that too. Yeah. But like finished, right? Like livable vans or just vans?
They're like weekender vans.
Are they the ones like the emblems on it and shit like that? Like the
murals?
Yeah.
Like a fuck, like a mural on the side of it,
and then like lights inside,
neon lights,
but not
carpet,
like the shit you see people living out of it. Like
there was a couple like van life people out there too, but mostly just like the shag and wagon.
So was that just something you're involved in that, or you just like
I have a buddy who's a part of that club.
Okay,
and he rides motorcycles. and like he's friends with like a bunch of like moped people.
Mhm.
That's another thing. Moped rallies are fucking
Yeah,
fantastic.
I know of those, like the Vespa groups and shit like that.
Well, not just the Vespa, but like the fucking like the Tomos and like the Pooks, like the actual pedal bike mopeds.
Really,
dude?
Individually or all, or are they all one? Like,
no,
is it like Vespa then them, or is it like all of them together?
So Vespas are like Vespa and like those are like scooters, but mopeds have like pedals.
Really?
Yeah. So like a moped is like a motorized bicycle.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
okay. I'm gonna look it up.
It's probably gonna pop up with a scooter.
Okay, so it's like that. Yeah, it looks like a scooter. That one kind of looks like it says Vespa, the first one, but it's not.
Yeah.
But then there are ones with like a bike, like you see in Vietnam a lot, like those like
they're
like not motorcycles, they're not bikes, but they're like right in the middle. Yeah, I get you. Okay.
So there's a forum called Moped Army, and it's all of the clubs. Because they all like kind of treat it like motorcycle clubs, but like,
and it's always army. It's always
but it's like a parody of it.
Yeah, okay.
Like everybody's in on the joke.
Okay. So like, they're not like they're like fucking
no. There's like
bro.
I mean, yeah, there are people. There are like there's like club chapter presidents and shit like that. Like they can get fucking as crazy as they want to with it.
Right.
But
there's nothing really besides probably a Facebook group and like them getting together a couple times.
So it's a forum where all of the clubs can register. And then you can find out where the rallies are.
Okay.
And like a lot of clubs throw rallies.
Also rallies, that anytime I hear that word, it always makes me a little nervous.
The moped rallies are
rallies. Fun. You say rally and it's
not
a race.
I know.
You know what I mean? If it's a moped rally, it'd be like, okay, are they racing or are they just hanging out?
No. Well, they're all congregating, partying, normally doing like
call it a party. Call it moped party.
No, it's really. You go for a ride.
No, why you have to call it a rally? It's just
you go for.
You
go. I understand where you're getting like a political rally.
Yeah,
it's not
rally
that.
Just sounds like.
No, there's no agenda other than party.
Because I've heard when at a young age, rally around your family, pocket full of shells. Okay. And I'm not about that life.
Sure.
Okay.
But the
So you were at the van life.
Oh, so we're at the van life thing. Yeah, that's right. We were talking about optics of doing whatever the fuck you want. So we roll it up at 6 o'clock Friday. The thing hasn't started yet, but everybody showed up the day early. And this is like it's a motorcycle campground, so it is specifically for motorcyclists.
But that like just like reserved for or built for? Kind of
built for. Okay. Like it's owned by bikers, but not club affiliated bikers. But like they do rent out to clubs, but it's just. Like, hey, you need a place to fucking sleep for the night? We're going to charge you $10.
Okay.
Like, here's a place that you can
like
set
a little
up
campground kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can keep your RV here if you want.
Nice.
Or we have like you spend $50 and you stay in a little like shack.
Oh. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like, for anybody that's out on the road.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You want to stay on the shed? There's a shower. It's a campground.
Cool.
And it's right on the Susquehanna River. So we got there at like 6 o'clock Friday night. And 30 feet away from us, we just keep hearing this. I'm like, what the fuck is that noise?
Yeah.
Like we look over, and there's this van with the doors wide open, and everybody's in their like early to mid 40s, and we hear like this fucking like metal on metal sound.
Yeah.
And hear the fucking noise again and look back, and they have fucking crackers because they're doing whippets.
I knew it.
They're doing whippets.
Damn, dude.
With just a cracker, right? So they're just fucking like changing cartridges.
Wait, so they're not even doing the balloon? They're doing the.
No, they are just straight from the fucking.
The whole thing.
The cartridge.
God damn.
The cartridge.
Dude, that's too much.
No, like a fucking.
They're filling up a balloon or something.
No. So it's the little handheld one. It's for like your
the whipped cream
ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So they're just fucking.
I was like, wait a minute, dude. What the fuck?
Right,
they're just like.
Right. So they're doing that, and we're like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. And they did that all night. Just fucking on whippets all night.
God. Damn,
we wake up at 6 a.m. 7:30. Squeaking. 8 o'clock. They bring out the fucking tank.
God damn, dude.
And everybody's fucking like all of a sudden there's like 10 people with balloons.
Okay. Now I can start seeing it. Now it's a business.
Yeah.
Now you
So
can be like, I'm going to sell you a balloon for $5.
no, it's just these 10 people.
What is going on with these people? How are they not dead?
I don't know. They,
Like, I understand
like,
tolerances
dude,
and shit, but like,
so much nitrous.
dude, what
So
the fuck?
much.
Did you try to talk to any of these people?
No.
I would have tried
At that point, like I was just kind of like, I'm gonna let them go.
Hi, how are you doing?
No, they seemed pretty like tolerant of it, but I can only
But
just
that's
imagine,
scarier.
I can only imagine it was just like, how's it going, man? And you talking, all the hears wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow.
Why even go? Because that literally just the effect of that is suffocating you're killing brain cells.
Yeah, you're just cutting
You're
off
literally
oxygen to your
that's
brain.
that is the effect.
Yeah.
That is the cause and effect is we're killing brain cells to make us go like
Yeah.
It is the most destructive. That is, I feel like, a little bit more destructive than crack, except for not as addictive.
I don't know. About
You don't think so?
that. I don't know about that.
What is like? What's more? I don't know if I can Google that.
What's more addictive, nitrous or crack?
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely crack.
Well, what's more addictive? What's more damaging? Let's say what's more damaging, crack or nitrous? I don't know if I definitely. Oh, I did spell nitrous right. Holy shit!
Look at you.
Is nitrous oxide damaging? It is very dangerous to inhale nitrous oxide directly from the canister. That's why when you said that, I was like, wait a minute, what? And doing it in an enclosed space is even more dangerous.
Well, they were
like a van?
No, they were outside.
Oh, well.
No, they weren't.
We got the door cracked. Never place a plastic bag over your head. Okay, so I don't know who's Googling this, but duh. Never place a plastic bag over your head
and fill it with nitrous.
If you were to take too much. Oh, that's okay. So because you create now. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? If you take too much nitrous oxide, you risk failing or falling unconscious and or suffocating from lack of oxygen. People have died this way. This is what it says.
Yeah.
Duh. So
people have died so many.
But it doesn't say which one. Oh, why is nitrous oxide called hippie crack? I knew there was a connection. In clinical settings, nitrous oxide gas is a safe anesthetic used during childbirth. There's no way they use nitrous in childbirth. Do they really?
I don't know they use nitrous during childbirth. I mean, like a fucking like a spinal tap.
2017? Yeah,
Maybe.
If they're watching the movie, maybe, but like, I don't know. It should make it better. In dentistry and to relieve anxiety in emergencies. What was 2017 like?
I'm having a panic attack. Quick. Take this balloon.
Give me that whipped cream. Colloquially, thank you. Known as hippie crack or laughing gas, it is increasingly taken recreationally for its euphoric and relaxing effects and hallucinogenic properties.
Have you ever taken too much nitrous?
I think I did right before reading that fucking article. Or that, yeah. I haven't actually done it a ton because I think because of that exact, for some reason that was the only one that actually worked. The they say like don't fucking smoke pot or you'll be stupid for the rest of your life or you kill brain cells, blah blah blah. With alcohol, any of those things, like it was like, yeah, I kill brain cells, but I feel just as smart the next day when I wake up. A little hungover, but it didn't feel like the same thing. When I took nitrous, I felt a taxing on my brain.
Oh yeah.
Same thing with like Molly or MDMA or anything like that. I haven't done either one of those because of the chemical properties that I've heard that actually surprisingly enough, please God, don't crucify me. I heard it on Joe Rogan. Well, this is where I will listen to him when he's talking about recreational drugs like that. When he says when he's talking about shit that he offers from his supplement company to revive your brain the next day after taking Molly, I was like, well, I'm not going to take Molly then because I don't want to have to revive my brain.
If it's not about drugs and it's not about MMA.
Yeah. No, I don't like. Yeah, recreational drugs. Not even like
recreational drugs and not about MMA. I don't understand why like people watch.
Why would you? Why do you need to reference it? I used to like it in the sense of the long form interview. It's not unlike to what I'm trying to do. I try to have more of a live aspect to it.
Sure,
but there was a time where he was tolerable in that sense. Now it's this thing where it's this weird sway that he had, like this. where
Yeah.
it almost feels like he has to push that bullshit or has to do stuff like that. And I'm not saying, and I don't mean this as like, look, I don't feel people should be as critical of him as they are, but also I also see why they are, in the sense that like he has influence and stuff like that. But to me, I've never given him that much weight. So that's, again, from my experience, I don't give him that much power.
Have you heard from people that listen to Rogan? Like, I don't know if this is something he said, but a lot of times I'll hear people like say like when like friends of mine,
Yeah.
I
Like
find
when they're referencing,
when they
you don't have to
reference,
qualify too much. You're not going to.
well, no,
you want to offend me?
I'm trying to get it like in the right situation
to be diplomatic. Yeah.
Right. So like I had a friend not too long ago, and it was funny because it was something Andrew Pollock had also said. And I think Pollock probably listens to Rogan.
I'm assuming,
yeah. But I remember he was like, yeah, man, like he referenced Rogan, and then he was like, yeah, man, comedy's like, I don't know why people are all up in arms. I feel like people need offensive comedy now. I'm just kind of like,
yeah.
I was like, I think people just want jokes.
It's just
like,
jokes. People just want comedy. It doesn't have to be offensive. Doesn't have to be woke or whatever term anybody wants to use. It just, just comedy.
I understand it's a part of like a fucking political spectrum. Like,
yeah.
And that sucks because like,
it sucks.
That's not where anybody. I don't think that's where any of us really want to be.
Jokes shouldn't be politicized. I don't think that should be. And that's what I'm saying is ultimately how I've always viewed Joe Rogan as a comedian.
I mean, unless a politician.
Yeah, I guess
you're writing jokes.
You're right. Unless some politician shows up to if Ron DeSantis is at an open mic in Tampa and he's like, hey guys, what's the deal with teachers? Why don't we just have veterans do it?
Sure. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's not funny because you're doing that.
Yeah.
You know that?
You told me earlier.
Yeah. That's terrifying.
That's an awful idea.
I forget things. You know that.
Yeah. That's an awful
idea. I did some nitrous.
You did some nitrous right now.
No, I'm doing the Kyle Neff thing. I'm bringing it back, and I'm going to just start saying the beginning of the show. You play soccer, right? No.
You ever play the Stanley Parable?
Yeah. So I think that if people gave, it's the amount of like, it's the fandom, it's the same reason why I think I made the mistake for most of my life criticizing ICP and probably Disturbed and probably a lot of other bands or groups.
I get
that I judged not only the book by the cover, but I judged Tool is actually a better example. Tool, I judged the band by their fans because all of their fans were Tool's great. Go see him, take drugs. And I'm like, so you're saying drugs are great and Tool has great lighting. And you know what I mean? Like, because ultimately everything's awesome on drugs.
And also you're too you're not confident enough in your masculinity to just go to like a Pink Floyd concert.
Go enjoy art. Yeah, you're allowed to enjoy art. I love art.
Yeah, go be with the hippies.
Yeah,
it's okay to be with hippies.
Go have fun and dance. Go have fun and dance.
Yeah,
you're allowed to do it. There's no so like that's the same aspect of like I judge the book by the cover, and I think that or ICP same way. Like ICP fans are garbage people for the most part. Like for the most part. In Florida, dude, you cannot.
Sure. But that's the thing. As I think, like I find trashy people to be very charming,
and that's where I turned around. Was like one of those things of like, well, what are you, Pat? Like, right. I'm white trash. But also,
I find white trash people and like hood rat people.
They're able to express themselves,
to be extremely.
Themselves.
If you can get past like your social fucking awkwardness.
Yeah.
To give like a 10-minute conversation to like again, and I think this is skateboarding, but like I'm still like I get weirded out by homeless people sometimes, and it's not because they're homeless. It's because I've skateboarded around a couple of people so much that like
they oftentimes mentally
sometimes
people,
they fucking like go off the fucking deep end.
They could be dangerous. They could think of you as a threat,
right?
Yeah,
but like I've gotten used to them.
Yeah,
to like even in those instances, like there's like. Was Audrey's wife. I used to be the general manager of the restaurant that I used to work at, and we were like out front, and this dude was definitely like off his meds, and he was like just like fucking screaming in people's faces and like running up and down the block, And then like somebody, I just remember like he ran up and got like this, like just right up in my face.
Right.
And I just like deadpanned him and I was just like, you okay? And then he just like took off.
Yeah.
And I was just like, cool. And somebody just goes, you're not scared of him? I was like, no, dude, he's not going to hurt anybody. He goes, you know, he had a knife. I was like, oh, he had a knife in his hand. They were like, yeah. I was like, I just didn't feel like he was going to hurt anybody.
I think ultimately, and I think that's the thing is that's
and also and also, if he would have stabbed me, there's like 20 people around.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's fine, whatever. Like, I mean, it's not great. I don't want to get stabbed, but
that's where it comes into. That's why that's where I fall down on like. So that's where I fall on my guns rights laws. A lot of those things of ultimately, I don't want to. If that's the scenario, nothing I own is worth dying for.
Sure.
I feel confident that I would be able to protect myself or my wife.
You do jujitsu.
Ultimately, yeah. So, and if not, if I get shot, then people go like, "Well, what happens if he shoots you?" And I go, "Then I'm dead."
Yeah. So,
I don't know. Like, what if we're gonna sit here and do what ifs all day? So, like, and I think that's what helped me with learning. Like, okay, this group of people doesn't represent this thing.
Right.
This group of people doesn't represent this thing.
Right.
The Rogan masses absolutely can be dangerous. If you get the right Rogan guy with a knife in his hand, yeah, it could be dangerous. But for the most part, they're crazy idiots.
I am far more, and this is back like when the fucking George Floyd protests were happening.
Mm-hmm.
I am far more scared of the fucking guy with a gun who's scared.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's my thought is
the fucking crazy homeless person that does like he's scared, but like
lead by example.
Like he doesn't have an intention.
Yes,
like
there's no premeditation here. It's
almost,
about what you're gonna do.
It's like the same thing. It's like being scared of an animal.
Yeah,
like there are animals that I'm terrified of.
They're gonna feed off of your personality. Right. So if you're like and you run away, they're gonna chase you. Yeah, they're gonna like because you're screaming and yelling.
But as you're screaming and yelling, they're hallucinating. They're like, that guy's being attacked by ghosts.
Yeah, I gotta save him. I'll get you, buddy.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think ultimately it's perception is not always reality, but unfortunately that's how a lot of people live their day to day.
Yeah.
So if we can send you away with anything from this podcast, it is a lot of really cohesive, great points that we've made here. I don't know if I referred to this. I gave you this.
Did we
reference
answer
before.
Sarah's question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we agree, Sarah. Those are our thoughts. No, I oftentimes refer to the show as drowning in a stream of consciousness.
Sure.
So I've enjoyed our time together today. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everybody pounding off in the comments. If you want to tell everybody where they can follow you, where they can find you. You host the mic every Monday.
Yeah.
You host the second half of the mic every Monday at right?
Yep.
At Phantom Power.
At Phantom Power in Millersville, Pennsylvania. I don't know the address, but
it's okay. Yeah. Phantom Power in Lancaster. What do you say, guys? Lancaster?
It's Lancaster, and actually it's in Millersville.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
There's a college there. I don't know.
Oh yeah, there is, isn't there?
Yeah, Millersville College. It's a borough.
It's a really cool. I honestly, I really love the venue, like how the layout of it, like the tilted floor like that, and then the second half up there really makes it feel like a fucking. I love the venue.
It's weird that
it's cool to perform.
It's weird that there's a second floor.
Yes,
because it was an old movie theater.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, somebody told me that last time. Yeah.
Theater. That's the plastic seats that are outside that are all together. Those were the seats that were inside.
Huh.
Yeah.
So
it's like a slant. It's slanted for like stage seating.
Do they ever still do movies there at all?
So during quarantine they did like drive-in, like on the wall.
Oh, I was gonna say, damn.
Yeah, they did drive-in at the wall, so everybody parking the parking lot and change. Yeah, they did the whole drive-in thing.
That's cool. What about
they'll do like premieres with like independent movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a guy Adam Lanhart who's like a tattoo artist, but he also does like independent horror movies.
Okay.
And like he did like his last one, he like premiered it there and in an independent movie theater.
Oh, that's cool.
Downtown Lancaster.
Yeah. Like these are venues that I like a multi-purpose venue. The place I get my hair cut, I've also performed comedy there. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know. I like Phantom Power. It's like
Swiss Army venues.
Yeah, I like the music venue that does because I mean you guys have HMAC.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of like, and like I like that with like the Lizard Lounge. Like I like the Lizard Lounge. I have like a soft spot.
It's a great place because
It was a basement.
it's a community. It's
Yeah.
a community basement where you get to go hang out with your friends, tell jokes to each other, and
Also-
every once in a while you get
and
a really
also-
great crowd.
And also, you got to do like the fucking like the comedian cosplay of like this is the gritty punk rock
Yeah.
like underground and like
Yeah.
And now like we're on like a nice stage and we're kind of like,
Okay.
I mean,
we
like
made it.
it's still very nice and I like it, and like it's a small community. It's actually like I was thinking about it. It was like because I'm a part of like everybody that helps host that, and like we're trying to like think of ideas, and like I just remember at one point like somebody was like, how does Comedy Zone get everybody there? And like finally like I think we were just kind of like came to the realization, it was like there's not that big.
It's not that
There's
it's not that
many
big.
people there.
I think there's just more. No, I think it's the reverse. I think it's bigger
Really?
and there's more things that's more artistically driven. So there's more what's that? Stimulating things to do.
Yeah.
So like Harrisburg is like you can go to this bar, or you can get wings here, or here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not saying that there isn't culture things happening around here, but really it's which restaurant do you want to see comedy in?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or the comedy club. So I think that's really all it is. And a lot of times I think the Comedy Zone's crowds are the Comedy Zone's comics. So there's 40 people on the list, so there's 40 people in the crowd.
Yeah, but I mean, like our last open mic, I mean, always July is always our
and I'm not saying that they don't get crowds. I'm not saying that it's not ever there are. I'm always very surprised with, and we were talking about the audiences that stick around for like even shitty shows.
Yeah,
where you're like, there's mics certain nights where I'm like, why are you waiting to the third? I'll be like 27th or 28th or 30 something, so whatever it is, like even later on, it's sometimes that happens, whatever. I don't care, fine,
sure,
I'll go up there, and then like right before I'm going up, like I'm 37, and like after the 36th person, these people are getting up and leaving. I'm like, you're like the only audience members.
Yeah.
There's 4 more people. Just why did you wait this long?
Just stick it out.
What are you doing? So I think there's ultimately it's just about like the promotion and also what you're offering. I think a lot of times, but like you guys, there's just I think it's overstimulating in Lancaster because there's so much other artistic shit happening.
Probably, yeah. I mean, there's just not that, and that's the thing is we have like our comics.
Yeah.
But
and
I don't think
different scenes for each, like even 45 minutes away, there's like a different scene.
Right.
And this way, if we could kind of combine, like I wanted to have a grappling competition I wanted to put together, and I wanted to have, because there is a lot of crossover between comics and jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. It's just it is just a thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have Central PA versus Philly versus Baltimore versus like that, like have teams and actually have an actual because I wouldn't even be a part of it, which is funny, like because
comedians that do jiu-jitsu doing jiu-jitsu.
Grappling contest. Yeah. Yeah, comedians that do jiu-jitsu doing jiu-jitsu. That's actually a great name. I was gonna call it oh fuck, what was I gonna say? Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna name it. But it was basically gonna be all sport, no blood. Because it's gonna be a grappling competition. Have some pre-tape stuff. And I need a venue to do it. And I was thinking one of the places I was thinking was Phantom Power, because of the seating and because of like I don't know how popular the first one's gonna be or whatever. But that's how I started. I almost started to think of like, well, technically we're part of the same scene. We just don't really we don't like collaborate enough. I feel like,
yeah.
So maybe we can change that in the coming years.
Yeah, we should probably do some
more collaborative stuff, because I love the like your shorts and stuff that you do to promote the mic and stuff there.
That I did, yeah.
Or did, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you could tell that you put a ton of work into it, and I think like that would be
that was my like
thought.
manic.
Let me say thought.
Sure. That was like my manic moment at that point where I'm just like, what do we do? I was like, I'll make shorts, and I did it for like 10 weeks straight.
Well, everybody has, and even everybody had that. When I started doing this during the pandemic. Getting limp there, buddy. Losing a little stamina, are we? No, it's all right. We're closing up. His mic just fell down. For anybody who's not watching, he didn't lose his erection. He still has it. But those things are kind of evergreen that you have that. I started doing this during the pandemic, and I was like, actually, it started out as okay, I can't get on stage, so what can I do that's comedically fulfilling?
Sure.
And still promoting myself. So it's kind of a win-win. That is literally, I think, the same thing. If you are promoting yourself because you made the thing, as well as promoting the mic, it's like it feels like win-win shit that I feel like more people kind of did. Like I always heard about communities and like, oh, we got a scene and all this other shit.
Yeah.
And like I think until just recently people started. Lancaster's always been a really good scene.
Yeah.
They've always worked together. But like I feel like just now it's actually starting to actually take, like there's something happening now.
Yeah,
it's actually pushing forward where.
No, definitely, and I think it's also like it has a lot to do with like Audrey, Jared, and like Kyle Ziegler's like very excited about.
You get the right people at the helm, kind of thing. Like who is motivated enough.
I feel bad being a part of that whole thing because like I like
why?
Well, like.
You don't feel like you're
well, I have a fucking imposter complex consistently, but also like just
why would they want me a part of that?
Well, also because I go on stage and I'm just like, I'm not funny.
Yeah, I think ultimately self-deprecation at a certain point can come down. That's when it can become harmful, is when you're like, you start fucking up and be like, wait, actually I do kind of think I'm funny. That's why I keep going on stage. You know what I mean? Like
I like to make people laugh. I don't inherently think like I don't like if there was a ranker.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd make like most people's lists.
I don't know, man.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Somebody suggested you to be on the show.
Sure.
Somebody thought of you to be on, and that's the important part.
Well, also Manny just asked me to be on it, and I was just like, well, Manny fucking did my show. I did the show.
That's fair, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
It's like host should help host out, I guess. So
see, that's
and
what I'm saying.
And I would like to do it again, but I cannot do it the same way I did it the first time.
Hey, you never know. Like I said, I think you did great. I really appreciate you being here today to do the show, taking time out of your day of skating and playing. He's already done things today, and he's still got more shit to do.
Yeah.
So don't seem so fucking excited about it.
I gotta fix a moped.
Well, you were just talking about those. Why didn't you take it to Moped Fest?
That's what we're fixing.
You're getting ready for it.
Yeah, we're ready for it.
I hope you make it there.
The Philly Moped Rally.
All right, stop calling it a rally. You got to stop calling it a rally.
It's not my thing.
Just got to say
I
moped.
Just go to it.
Moped happening, man.
Gathering.
No, that's already
the gathering of the mopeds.
The gathering of the mopeds.
The gathering of the mopeds.
Hell yeah! Thanks everybody for watching and listening. We love you. Subscribe. Goodbye. Boom.
I didn't plug anything other